It's my pleasing duty to now present to His Excellency Joseph Nyenwolo, President of the Republic of Liberia.
His Excellency Sylvester Pewee.
It is my pleasing duty to now present to His Excellency Joseph Nyenwolo, President of the Republic of Liberia.
Let me start with just some opening comments. First of all, apologies to our radio and social media audiences for starting a little late, as people who may know I like to start on time. So we're a few minutes behind, so again, my apologies. And again, I want to thank all of you who are here today for your presence, for this engagement with the media. I'm a bit out of practice. You know, engaging the media, interviews is like playing sports, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, Instagram, the entire land of social media, the First State Old Timers Sports Association of Delaware present to you and yours its first annual fundraiser gala. The sole purpose of this fundraiser gala is to construct a community center where resources will be provided for the children and the elderly of Delaware. Come and help us all say congratulations to the First State Old Timers Sports Association as they gear up for the first annual gala. VIPs to be honored will include former team managers and former members of this unique organization, to begin with Gentleman Sam Weeder, Gentleman Jackson T. S. Seaton, Mr. Moses D. Sandy, Mr. Edwin Z. Cry, and Ms. Sekwe Morris. Others are Mr. George Tor, Mr. David Holly, Mr. Mobilu Sion, and the unofficial Governor Joshua Brown. The very elegant night of fundraiser will continue, and the keynote speaker will be the legendary political commentator himself, Honorable Henry Pedro Costa. Master and mistress of ceremony are Sheikh Abraham Saka and Liberia's funniest stand-up comedian Mary Love. They both will cheer you up all night long. And of course, music will be provided by Delaware's top-rated DJ. Admission for ordinary is $100 US, as patron gets to pay only $1,000 US, and that will include a table of 6 guests. Please come prepared to enter into a raffle draw. Raffle ticket, ladies and gentlemen, will cost you $2.50, and the winning ticket will get a round-trip ticket to Liberia, West Africa. It's going down on Saturday, February 15. The address is the Shrine Temple Banquet Hall, 198 South DuPont Highway in Newcastle, Delaware. Come and have so much fun as you give back to the First State Old Timer Sports Association of Delaware. For more information, contact the Planning Committee Chairperson, Mr. Frank Weeder, at 610-717-2635, and the team manager himself, Gentleman Ben Sanvee. Look forward to seeing you all. I'm yours truly, G. Francis Togar. I will be in the building to grace the occasion, so let's make a date to be there.
Yeah, all my kids they wanting me for. All of my kids I give it to God. They think I do it up for all the papi I show. They get like do. See the thing I do. Tell us to say we not. That back in Django, the papi I know what to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, Instagram, the entire land of social media, the First State Old Timers Sports Association of Delaware present to you and yours its first annual fundraiser gala. The sole purpose of this fundraiser gala is to construct a community center where resources will be provided for the children and the elderly of Delaware. Come and help us all say congratulations to the First State Old Timers Sports Association as they gear up for the first annual gala. VIPs to be honored will include former team managers and former members of this unique organization, to begin with Gentleman Sam Weeder, Gentleman Jackson T. S. Seaton, Mr. Moses D. Sandy, Mr. Edwin Z. Cry, and Mr. Sekwe Morris. Others are Mr. George Tor, Mr. David Holly, Mr. Mobilu Sion, and the unofficial Governor Joshua Brown. The very elegant night of fundraiser will continue, and the keynote speaker will be the legendary political commentator himself, Honorable Henry Pedro Costa. Master and mistress of ceremony are Sheikh Abraham Saka and Liberia's funniest stand-up comedian Mary Love. They both will cheer you up all night long. And of course, host. Music will be provided by Delaware's top-rated DJ. Admission for ordinary is $100 US, as patron gets to pay only $1,000 US, and that will include a table of 6 guests. Please come prepared to enter into a raffle draw. Raffle ticket, ladies and gentlemen, will cost you $2.50, and the winning ticket will get a round-trip ticket to Liberia, West Africa. It's going down on Saturday, February 15. The address is the Shrine Temple Banquet Hall, 198 South DuPont Highway in Newcastle, Delaware. Come and have so much fun as you give back to the First State Old-Timer Sports Association of Delaware. For more information, contact the Planning Committee Chairperson, Mr. Frank Weeder, at 610-717-2635, and the team manager himself, Gentleman Ben Sanvee. Look forward to seeing you all. I'm yours truly, G. Francis Togar. I will be in the building to grace the occasion, so let's make a date to be there.
Yeah, all my kids they wanting me for. All of my Kenya Kehleboe Gongloe. They till I do it up for la mama. They papi la shop. They get la dum do do do. See the teen do 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 do. Tell us to say we not.
Oh, good man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, Instagram, the entire land of social media, the First State Old-Timer Sports Association of Delaware present to you and young.
Hey, it's good to be back on the closing argument. Welcome, everybody. Sorry we starting late because we have to work, but it's good to be back, and I look forward to having a good show tonight. Hope everyone's, wherever you are, hope everybody's been well. Welcome Susan Pay from Delaware, Peter White from Minnesota, my own auntie Elizabeth Bowen from Maryland, James Koyate Jr. from Dubaro in Liberia, Musu Wabi Cooper from Australia, Queensland, Brisbane, and other people watching. Good to see you guys, and hope everybody's doing well. The news too much, and most of the news are around corruption, and I don't understand, but I don't know about our country. We're in a serious problem. I hope one of these days we have the right person in charge to make a difference. But as of now, Liberia is in a serious problem, and I just pray and hope that we'll get over this one of these days. But it's, like I said, please share the show on your pages and in your chat rooms. Please share the show, and so we can get going. Today's it's a cold day, not too cold day in the U.S. Very cold at my end. I'm in Pennsylvania, but Temple, not Philadelphia, though. People always think that Philadelphia is the state. When they ask them, what state are you in Philadelphia? No, Philadelphia is not a state. And it's not even the capital of Pennsylvania. The capital of Pennsylvania is Harrisburg. That's where the governor and resides, where the office is. Most people don't know. When they ask them, oh, what state are you in? I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm in Philadelphia. No. I'm in Philly. No. That's not the state. The state is Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia is one of the cities, and one of the largest cities in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. And we found a lot of Liberians and African nationals are there, immigrants are there. Where I reside, I'm about almost 2 hours away from Philadelphia. So I'm in Temple. way on the other side. But it's good to be back. And let us, I'll ask the guys in studio, please, can you let's start the show with Mr. Cummings' press conference. Can you play some extra with Mr. Cummings' press conference? Myean, can you put Mr. Cummings' press conference he had? Listen to some of his press conference he had today. You can get it going from there. Tyler, help me. Myean, can you play Mr. Cummings' extra of his? We have listened to his press conference. You have to listen to a little bit of it.
Once you know how to ride, you also know how to ride. Let me acknowledge the fact that.
Can you give me a little sound, please?
So we want to acknowledge the men and women of the armed forces of Liberia. We thank you for your sacrifice, your commitment to our country, both in the past, in the present, and going forward. So with that acknowledgement. Let me also, in this public manner, acknowledge and thank all of our supporters. We worked hard. We did our best to make our case. We spent our own time and resources, didn't use government money, looted money, made a case, but Liberians choose a different direction, and we accept that decision. President Joseph Boycott is our president, and as I said, after his election, we wished him well. His success is Liberia's success. His success is all our success, and so we acknowledge his victory, and again, we continue to wish him success. Let me also start by saying, however, our key messages are unchanged. Can't keep doing the same things and expect different results. You cannot keep doing the same things over and over and expect different results. If you want Liberia to change, if we want our country to move forward, if we want to reduce poverty in our country, we'll have to do many, many things different. As a country, our country's institutions, as individuals, we have to do things differently. And the other key message still resonates, I believe, is still relevant, is that Liberia deserves. We deserve as a people, as a country, and I have an unflinching belief in our country and in the promise of Liberia. So, to answer your question, look, we've been around. I've done some travel, but I've been mostly here on the ground. It was important to, take some time off, to step back, to reflect, to consult, to listen to others, to observe. You cannot be potentially running for office. That makes no sense. You cannot potentially be just talking. Somebody sent an interview I did a few years ago. There's this expectation that you gotta be constantly attacking and abusing people and being aggressive. And my message is, where has that carried us, that behavior, right? We will be 178 years old this year, I believe, and we're still among the poorest countries in the world. So I don't subscribe to those attributes, if you will. But we've been around, we've been observing. It was important to give the government a chance to, what I describe as get their feet on the table, to figure out what we wanted to do. But now we are prepared to offer a point of view. And this is meant to be my perspective, my point of view on the situation, on the country. We'll take questions in the thematic areas you suggest. will offer a point of view. And I think it's important that Liberians share my voice. And again, people will do what they want. But again, we've committed to our country, to our people, and we will stay engaged in the work in Liberia. But we will not be perpetually, running for president. That makes absolute no sense. There's a long way to go before the next election. So we will be prudent, we'll be thoughtful, we'll be strategic about our presence and our visibility.
So let me follow up on that. You are known to be seen as the man who always talks about change. Through election cycle, you preach this change, and change. And those two election circles did not become president. My question is that something wrong with the messenger? Or something is wrong with the message? Because Liberian people didn't listen to your message, they didn't vote for that change. What is the way forward?
Yeah, good question. Look, I think the message of change is even more relevant today in Liberia. And let me remind you of some of the messages we propose, some of the changes we propose. And again, we propose fundamental changes, right? And those changes were threatening to what I call, or who I call the political class. One senator actually said to me after the election, this is a true statement. He said, look, we all, and I think we meant the political class, the legislators, some people in the executive branch, judiciary. He said, we all sort of understood your aspirations for our country, the changes you were proposing. But he said, frankly, we didn't see how and where we fit in that change. We view that change as threatening to us. If you think about it, the way Liberia works today benefits a few hundred people. And those people happen to be what I call the political class, the government, the powerful people. And they want the system to stay where it is because they benefit from that. And those people are the ones that demonize us. We let them define us, unfortunately. And so our message of change still resonates. Perhaps we didn't do a good enough job of communicating that message because it was about investing in the Liberian people. There's a saying, and I believe in this, that you invest in the people and the people develop the country. So investing in education, investing in healthcare, investing in infrastructure, being consistent in fighting corruption, not being selective, stopping the stealing, prosecuting people who do that. Those are all part of our messages. And I think again, those messages are still relevant today. I think again, perhaps we didn't do a great job of explaining how it would benefit the average Liberian. Perhaps we let us be defined, and so the messenger, and look, I'm flawed. So the fact that we weren't successful, I'm contributed to that in many ways as the leader of the ANC, the CPD at the time. So I gotta take my share of responsibility, but the key point though is that the message is still relevant, given where we are today as people, as a country. And I will continue to say, if we keep doing the same things, we will get the same result as manifested by where we are today.
Julius.
Yes, again, it's good to be here. It's been a little over a year since the last election. It is 1 year, 2-3 weeks since President Joseph Boakai was inaugurated. What is your assessment so far? What has obtained over the course of the meeting?
Yeah, look, the first thing I would say is that, 1 year isn't a long time, and there's 5 years to go in President Boakai's administration. And so we need to acknowledge that fact. The other thing I would say, Julius, is that when you take responsibility for leading a country, an organization, a company, the first thing you should try to do is, to use a sports analogy or football analogy, is not to score your own goals, not to score goals on yourself. And so, some own goals, I think that were scored, the whole yellow machine saga, for example, I don't know if it's been resolved, where the status of that is, but I think that was clearly an own goal, something that could have been avoided. What happened with tenured officials? The appointments, they went about removing them, even though the court said something to the contrary, you could argue that was own goal, unnecessary goal on themselves. The whole issue around asset declaration, I just saw an announcement today where officials will be suspended in that regard. Again, I'm glad it's happening, and I applaud the president for that announcement, but one would argue 12 plus 1 inch should that have happened, a while ago. So first thing is, some of these home goals perhaps would have been avoided. I think the most important question though, and this is not one I think I should try to answer, but the Liberian people need to answer the question. Are they better off 1 year later than they were 1 year ago? Today, are there more jobs available? Is the cost of living the same or getting higher? Are there more medicines, medical supplies in our clinics and hospitals around the country?
But you are.
Is there, let me finish, you can follow up. These are fundamental questions that I believe should be and has been answered by Liberian people. Julius, I have been blessed in life, and I seek to use the word blessed very deliberately. And so the answer to that question has to be answered by the citizens and the people of Liberia, not by Alexander Cummings. And again, these are the questions Liberians have to ask themselves. Are they better off? Do they have more jobs? Is the cost of living down? Is medical supplies and clinics hospital? Are schools getting the supplies? These are fundamental questions that I think Liberians have to answer in terms of 1 year later. And are they hopeful of the next 5 years?
You are a Liberian. You are a statesman, an elder one. You are a political leader. You live in Liberia. You get different requests. Sometimes you go to marketplaces and all of that. So you're also entitled to answer that question. This is why you're here. So all of these questions you think Liberians should ask themselves. What are your answers to them?
I'll stick to my response that I think this question should be answered by the Liberian people. I mentioned some of the own goals that could have been avoided. I would say there needs to be a riveted focus on the economy, on improving the business environment in this country, improving the perception of governance in this country. Those are things that I believe should be happening, we should be doing. But in answer to that question, I think Liberians have to take responsibility to answer. I think they're off today than we were.
Let's talk about the economy. Since you've been around the business sector, there's one thing you spoke about quite eloquently during the campaign process. Numbers from the IMF and others will talk about a 4.8% increase in the GDP and could increase over the course of 2025. They've also talked about some fiscal reforms getting on course and all of that. And these are the kinds of messages that you will want to hear to know that the country is getting on track to have a better economy. What do you say?
So look, those are good headline numbers, and it is good and it's better that those numbers are going in the direction, the IMF, the World Bank, others suggest. So, I think that's a good thing. But again, the fundamental question to Julius is, are the Liberian people feeling the benefit of those numbers? Back, I think it was perhaps back in the 50s and 60s, they used to talk about growth without development. There was a book written, and maybe you're too young to remember those days. And so the question for us Liberian and Liberians is, those headline numbers are good. We have to applaud them. but is it filtering down to Liberian people? Or is it just reflecting the fact that we are exporting more iron ore or more gold? So the extractive industries, right, are growing, and therefore GDP is growing. But is the average Liberian experiencing that? Are our policies impacting young people? In our medical facilities getting better? Are we investing in primary healthcare in clinics? Are we investing in agriculture? So is the farmer feeding that 5% GDP growth? So those are the more fundamental questions. You want those numbers to be there, that's a good thing. But we want to make sure the benefit filters down to the average Liberian teacher, farmer, healthcare worker, business person. Ask the fundamental question. And again, Liberians to the South Carolina, they receive the benefit of these economic growth numbers.
The program is being carried live on OKFM 99.5, High FM 107.9, Prime FM 105.5, Full FM 91.9, Here Radio 95.5, and Sky 107.1. Mother.
Okay, so Mr. Cummings, it's good to see you. It's been a very long time. When the elections, it was almost like every 2 weeks interview with you. So let me come outside of the little box a little bit. What lessons did you learn from the 2023 elections? Because you like this book, you keep doing the same thing, you're getting the same results. So what lessons, number one, and what are some of the things that you keep doing and getting the same results before I can come to my next question?
Yeah, thank you, Magdalene, and good to see you again. Look, I don't want to dwell too much on, and I'll answer your question, I'll give you examples of things we've learned. But I want to emphasize, I don't want to dwell too much on 2023 is behind us, the results are there. We have a president 5 more years to go in this administration, not thinking about 2029. I think too many people are focused on 2029. We need to be focused on what's happening today. And people afford 2-3 meals a day. If they're sick and have medical issues, can they get medication, treatment in Liberia? Are farmers seeing fertilizers and seeds at the farms getting better? We should be focused on today, not this political 2029 stuff, right? But we learned a lot of lessons. One is, as I mentioned earlier, we probably didn't do a good job of communicating our change message, which I think is still relevant today. But we didn't do a good job of that. We let ourselves be, defined in the wrong way. Mr. Cummings arrogant, Mr. Cummings not down to earth, Mr. Cummings ambitious. I'm ambitious for Liberia, not for myself. But we let ourselves be defined by others. We went didn't engage in people of this country good enough in my mind. And again, I would take responsibility for that. So these are some of the lessons we learned that we gotta do different. Look, I am who I am. My personality, will adjust it, what I call environments, right? I am who I am, actually. And people will accept it for who I am or not. And that's clearly their choice. But we're trying to adjust and self-reflect on the things we should do different going forward. But again, I don't want to focus too much on the political process, the politics. Let's focus on what's happening.
Okay, so that's our background, right? And what do you think would have been done differently? I mean, to get different results, because this government is 1 year, like my colleague said, 1 year, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Yeah, something around there. So what do you think would have been done differently to get different results? Maybe your recommendations to this government.
Yeah. So if you go back and read the CPP manifesto, if you go back and read our 100 plans, you will find the following recommendations. I'll mention some of those recommendations now in terms of the way forward. One is this is in no particular order. One area we talked about is about the business environment, about making Liberia business friendly, about making it easy for people to do business, business in Liberia, particularly Liberians and Liberian business people. So that I believe that is still an opportunity to improve the regulatory environment, to revisit that. Again, to use technology to help to move the country forward. Other examples I think we talked about is to focus on what we call primary health care. You know what kills most Liberians are basic things: malaria, typhoid, childbirth, hypertension. There are about 5 or 6 things. Investing in primary health care is something that I believe we should be doing because it will impact the average Liberians. Think about our country is an input-based country. We only export iron ore, rubber, gold, etc. We don't export anything else, but we import everything we consume regularly. So why aren't Liberians the primary importers into this country? Everything the government procures should be procured through and by Liberians because importing is basic arrangement. I import for $10, I sell for 12 or 10, 50, whatever. Liberians should do that. That's another example of how we can impact the average Liberian business. So these are just some of the examples of things that the whole governance environment, and Billy will talk about that, right? If the rule of law is not being followed, if the governance environment is not perceived as being positive, you are not going to attract people to come and invest in our country. And I believe that's still an opportunity. So these are some examples of things that we would recommend. It was in our manifesto, and I think that's still relevant to the prosperity of the country.
A follow-up. Yes, so you always talk about strengthening Liberia's private sector, and you are one of our very best or successful business persons we have in Liberia, and we can boast of that. So now you said earlier that you do not have any plan for 2029. You're focusing on now. So what are you doing currently with regards to the business sector? What are you doing currently?
So
are you also aware of uses, the whole uses stuff that's affecting a lot of Nigerians? Yeah.
So first of all, I am an investor in Liberian businesses. I'm an investor in 2. One was not successful. One is still very successful. I don't make that public because in this environment, those businesses, people go after it, go punish it. That is just a fact, right? And there are other investors in those businesses. And if we make it public, we are big investors in XYZ business, they will be harassed regulatorily, tax-wise, etc., etc. But I'm an investor today, 1. 2, we are exploring today some other opportunities to invest in Liberia. But again, until the business environment is conducive, it will be hard to attract others to come and join us to invest in businesses in Liberia. But we're not going to give up, right? Again, I will not disclose the particular area of sector because my fear is because people are politically threatened, they will come and try to fight it. I mean, it's successful because they will say, Mr. Cummings business is successful, then it will strengthen him politically, which again is completely the wrong way to think about it. But that is the reality of our country, right? So we are investing into business, significant amounts of money. One has failed, unfortunately. The other one is still thriving, and we're looking at other opportunities to invest in Liberia today as we speak. And we've got people in the ground exploring opportunities to actually do that. But I'm not going to tell you it's this, that, or other, because my fear is they will go after and try to make us not successful in those businesses.
So you're speaking based on experience that your businesses were affected before?
I've seen other businesses affected before, and therefore I cannot dispose of my businesses so they are not affected.
Okay, so we'll be run by Kevin Denny of Prime President. Kevin, you can wait, so I'll keep you waiting for a little bit. let's go to the after the house with the rule of law. In your most recent statement concerning what's obtained on Capitol Hill, you said if that is not well taken off, care of, there might be a threat to the country. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so everybody knows the issue in the House of Representatives. And I have to tell you, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, I've mostly been around, but I've also been traveling in the region of Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, the US, other places outside the region. And the perception of what's happening in our legislature is not good. There are clear rules about how you elect a speaker. The rules are very clear. They're
Tomalin, we can't hear you.
I said, good to see you, Grace. Always dressed beautiful, very beautifully, and from the comfort of your home and looking good.
Thank you.
All is well at your end. Again, I want to welcome everyone to the closing argument. Today, the political leader of the opposition Alternative National Congress, Mr. Alexander Cummings, broke his silence since the election. He addressed a small section of Liberian journalists, and that's that one thing I give him credit for. Though most of our politicians, they can't do what he did today. Most of them, but yet and still, the Liberian people, they don't appreciate such a thing. Be able to address the public, meet the public, go through the journalists, and share your vision, your ideas, your issues, your position on issues of national concern. But the Liberian people will see all that. The people who can't do it, people will be running behind. Our country is just backwards. I believe in people who will be able to engage the public. As I say all the time, I'm not a fan of Trump, but Trump, I want to give him credit for it. I get to like him because Trump, he would not shy on the press. Okay? He will not shy on the press. Anytime he about to, he will engage the press. And that's how come the message can go out. But I hope the comments continue. I hope the next conference will be here maybe in Banga or in Bagleyville or in Block on G there, somewhere in the interior. I hope that way he should carry press conferences too. But I will start the show. Grace, welcome.
Thank you.
At least give your intro, then we can start the show right away.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Grace Guar. If you haven't seen me before, that's my name. And I'm happy to be here on the closing argument. I always say this is a step to be the CNN of Liberia. It's just that we have to put in more time and more effort, but it's coming to that state. I hope, hopefully, in a few months and few years to come. If you're on here watching, you should please help us and share the video to different platforms so other people can have the opportunity to listen. Because here we are fair. Everybody have their own opinions and objectives. We say as we want to say it. We fear no foe, especially me. So, come and listen and learn because things that will not be said on other platforms will be said here. So please help us and share the video to other platforms so people can get to know and hear us, what we have to say about what's happening in Liberia. And also maybe can we use a little bit of information what's happening around the diaspora, being that Liberians also live within the diaspora, and we are the ones that have the economy going in Liberia, $800 million just last year alone. So you should try to listen to what we have to say because, as you can see, the amount of money alone shows that Liberians in the diaspora really love Liberia. Regardless of our differences, our diversity in politics, we do love the country. We do still try to help and make sure that our country is running. It's just that most of the time, the leaders that are in place from region to region has not really been able to bring the country up to standard as we like the country to be like. And in this day and age in Liberia, we still don't have electricity and pipe running water in the entire country, which is a shame to me, and as I see it. So I'm happy to be here. Let's try to dive into the conversation and see everybody's opinion, what we have to say about this. I'm expecting Pewee and Ben Sanvee to be on here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Grace. On my end, you guys get ready. We'll go to the phone lines later on. We'll hear from the Liberian people what their views about Mr. Cummings' interactive engagement with the press today. We'll hear from them in Liberia, in the U.S. and around the world. That's his press conference was widely listened to. It appeared as though people was really waiting for him to break his silence. You know, that's what happens when in a country where when you find out that things are not going well, you try left, try right. You grasp it for straw. You're looking for somebody to come and say, "Hey, Mr. Cummings, maybe this could be a moment." Even though you said you focus on your business right now, investment, but you can never tell. This could be your moment. Everybody was looking forward to this press conference today, and when I tuned on some area, I saw 1,000 watching. So who knows? But let's see what happens in the coming months, coming weeks. But before I start, let me just recognize some of our people. I know we got people watching on YouTube and listen to the radio in Liberia, but those who I can see right now, let me say Susan Pay, Peter White, says my Auntie Elizabeth Bowen, James A. Koyate Jr., Musuwabi Cooper, Bertha Stewart, the ANC folks in there. Hey, God. Hey. Abule Dule from Zozo. Abule, what? My man. From Zozo City, Lofa County. My man, I can't put a little talk to. Abule, I can't put you should be calling. Yeah, be inboxing, let's be talking. I want to hear what happened in that end. Yeah, I can't put I want to be hearing from. Matilda Stevens. Okay, we got Chelsea, the woman, the birthday woman. That's her birthday. Okay, we got Abu Kamara. You now start attacking me already for the coming show tonight. Okay, hey, we'll top line I will relax. We got, of course, Ruth Roberts Bengba. She said, I'll call you. Why you answer? Answer your call, Ruth. So I refuse to answer your call. I ever refuse your call, sir. We got Richard Clinton. We got Be Thankful Addison. Abu S. Kamara. We got Benedict Gade from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Let's other people join us. Let's move on. Let's make it interesting tonight. We got Stuart Campbell. But I will start the show, Grace, like this first.
Is anyone in the studio though? I thought the train in the studio supposed to kind of give me the information on what's going on in Liberia today, or they're not coming on.
Myean there, but we'll
Okay.
don't worry, yeah. But yeah, don't worry. Anything I'll call a guy on the ground to give us. He was on the ground today. I'll call something later on. But a Liberian social media blogger and see Liberia clearly. I will quote her before she can sue me that I'm quoting her quote or giving her credit. But she wrote, she said, a journalist asked Alexander B. Cummings why he chose not to begin his political journey as a senator to gain insight into the Liberian political landscape before pursuing the presidency. Mr. Cummings responded, stating that the Liberian political system has experienced consistent failures over the years. So what is there to learn from it? The failures? Grace, what do you say about that comment?
Why you anyway? Let me just go back to the speech. To tell you the truth, I expected him to at least give a speech or kind of like that. I don't know why I was expecting that, but that's why I was expecting that he will come out and speak at least for 15 minutes or maybe less than that before he start to take questions from the journalists. But that was not the case. I felt that with what he, his presentation today, I don't like what the journalists then did. They made it look very, very poor. With the phone dropping and coming up back, dropping, for a political leader of his stature, is not supposed to be like that. That play was supposed to be set up in a very nice way with stands and everything. These things are very cheap. We've been sending them to Liberia to our people. You get a stand, you put a phone on it, or you put the iPad on it. It's braced up, and then they put it on. It's not moving. They get it on two different directions in the back. So to make sure that the political leader is sitting in a way, and it looks very professional as it's supposed to be. But it was just, phone dropping, coming down, they shake facing the one, facing that, and very disorganized. I noticed that I don't understand how the ANC people, even the ones in Liberia, how you go and allow Mr. Cummings to sit in that kind of disorganized setting where phone dropping from people and they picking it up. That was not good. It was not a good presentation to me. So I noticed all of that. And I hope they do better the next time. And I'm only saying this because I really want it to be better. Liberia has reached a stage where we have to graduate from all these mediocre way of doing things. Mr. Cummings has a lot of strong Liberian people behind, especially in Liberia, not here, but in Liberia. So they were supposed to make sure that setting was very, conducive, for them to for before he sat there. That's just the right thing to do. If I had a political leader to do that, I would not allow him in that setting in the first place. We're not a good setup. So I wanted to flag that up for next time. And I hope the ANC people take it in a good faith instead of them always coming, to just, so you open your mind, just say comments they are about to insult you. Because if they're looking at all these things, they will not even be happy. Instead of focusing on the right thing, they focus on the bad things. But anyway, so I noticed that. And then I also wanted, I thought he would make a statement because the way you announced it, and especially the closing argument, the naked announcement I went also, I thought this man was coming to really give a 15-minute real talk. And then before questions from journalists start to come in, I didn't know that he was just coming to take questions from journalists and answer those questions. So to me, it was kind of vague to me. That what he was saying, we already heard it before. We have been on platforms and people have been saying it. Even us here on closing argument, we have, presented those kind of ideas and presented what is going on in the country and how maybe we think that the government can proceed forward. So I really wanted to hear something really different. I was not hearing anything really different from him. But I mean, the mere fact that he was able to come out and even speak, and be able to answer questions from journalists compared to the other political leaders who ran in the race before, they are not coming up. So, I would give that to him, that it was a good thing that he came on now. I also was expecting when Ben Sanvee was on the show last night on the phone, the way he was talking that Mr. Cummings was going to come and announce maybe he would be in the race for 2029, because 2029 is really not far. It's 5 years from now. We just pray for good health, long life. So if anybody want to announce, they can announce now. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe you will start getting people behind you more so from now when you announce, and the other people who won't wait for 2027. You never know. So I was expecting him to actually tell us whether he was going to be part of the race, or he would be pushing as president for 2029, and he's about to start to do things in Liberia. So I didn't get that from him. Then with his famous quote, from Einstein, because it's his favorite quote, but it's from Albert Einstein. Is the one that coined that quote. It says that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So, the journalists asked him about that concerning his party, and even him running as president twice and has now won. So the journalists tried to ask him in that light, what are you going to do differently? He pivoted. He did not answer that question in totality for us to get. So what he would do differently, like to say, okay, maybe I could do something differently. I could change my team, because the people that presented me twice, they were all on the same team. I haven't won, so maybe I need to start looking in a whole different direction. And maybe, okay, if I change my team and bring another leadership team that leadership team will be trained, and then they will be able to coach the people that you know, that my supporters, who will be ready, leveraging my agenda and my vision to the public, so they can know exactly how to present me, you know. And I wanted to hear him say that, you know, these are some of the things I would do differently, or maybe you know, give a little more information on what we expect for him, even in the political scene, what he's going to do differently, you know, for the Liberian people to see him now as, you know, somebody that will lead them. But I did not hear that from him either. So for me, it was kind of, he was still in that space of not connecting. For some reason, I don't think Mr. Cummings has it in him to actually, because sometimes you go back and think, okay, so why did I not connect with this? Or, okay, I went to school, I made 70 on the test, how I made 70, go back and study it and come back and say, okay, I will push to make at least 80. So the connection to me wasn't in place still. I never felt a presence, you know, because when leaders come on, even sometimes you see them on screen, there's a presence, but then you feel, I never felt that presence about him. And I will not tell you, I can't take it away from him. In 2017, there was a little presence there. There was not much, but he came with that. 2017, but then it started dropping and dropping. Sometimes I don't blame him as a person. I also blame the team that are around him. You know, so I always, because it takes a real good team to push somebody to where they're supposed to be. Even as somebody who have been in leadership in another capacity, it takes a very good team to really push you to where you're supposed to be in anything you do, you know. So I never felt that presence with him when he came on. So I was looking forward. It was to me. It was just it was nothing was given for me. Now I will be truthful to you. If something was given for me, I would say that, because for me, my focus is for Liberia to be a better place. So any leader who come with that gist and able to take Liberia to the next level, I am on your team. I'm for you. Even if I'm not on your team, I will say it and tell the Liberian people, you need to watch this person. But I never saw that. The disconnect is still there. He still need to go back and really be able to say, he said he would be coming now. Maybe when he coming back to another country, he should come stronger than how he came. And then the team too, please let the men surrounding be very professional. It wasn't for me. That's where I would stop.
Welcome, Dr. Peabody. Welcome. For me, let me see, my perspective, my own analysis about Mr. Cummings today. You know, Liberian politics, you got to operate with guided precision. Mr. Cummings said something today too that was profound. For instance, he said that he's doing he have invested, he's an investor. He invested in Liberia, 2 businesses, and one is successful, and one is not doing too good. And the reason why he couldn't even announce what the business is doing, he said because it will be targeted. So it tells you the kind of environment we have in the country. Moreover, there have been reactions from Mr. Cummings. In fact, like I said earlier, a lot of people are looking forward to Mr. Cummings because, you know, people apparently, like the people hopes have been shattered, and some of them see now as this alternative, perhaps as maybe the last option they can go to. That's why everybody was eager to hear what he was going to say today. Everybody was, I mean, when I got, at one point in time, I forgot he was on today on that. When I got an alert, when I got on one of the sites, I saw thousands of people watching the show, watching him live. And this had not been the usual thing from the past. So that's a positive thing for him to see that people were eager to listen to him, to hear from him, break his silence. That's something that it tells you that the Liberian people, most of them now, especially those abroad and some home, they are fed up with what they have seen over the last years. And so now they want an alternative. And perhaps they're saying to themselves, maybe this will be his moment. This will be a moment. And I think Mr. Cummings was very strategic not to announce that he was getting involved right away in the politics of the country right away. Because, you know, every time it's a learning experience. He came in 2017 and he came in 2023. And it's a learning process. I'm sure over the last couple of years, he have been giving a lot of thought process. He have been talking to people around. And I think this time he approach will be different, perhaps. one thing he did not say, he did not rule out that he would not be actively involved. He did not say it. But he just said he's right now he's investing, trying to invest in the country. But I'm sure he and his political strategists, his advisors have been having some discussions behind the scene. And I think the approach this time will be different. And I think we were exemplified today when he spoke. He was very measured, very, very strategic in answering the questions that were posed to him. I think because he knows that if he will be actively involved in the 2029 elections, he knows that he will need to do a lot of stuff. So that's why you didn't see him come, I think Ben said last night to come back with that force to aggressively attack the government in power, or to come and sounding like he was whining, like whining. And so he prepared himself well to come and engage the people. But at least intention crucial national issues, and most of his discussion will focus on the Liberian people, how the benefit that Liberian people can accrue from the government if the government was doing the right thing. So I think he will focus on how Liberians can be in power, how Liberians have that power to change their course and the trajectory of the country. And I believe that I think he, for me, I'll tell you, he had a great press conference. I think he answered the question. As I said earlier, not many politicians in our country can do what he did today. Most of them, they won't give the press that length of time to ask them questions that were all being censored, But for him to avail himself and to address the people and answer the questions, I think.
How you came to that conclusion? There are not many politicians how you came to that conclusion, though?
Oh yeah, Grace. I see many politicians that have come to. Especially those who are the leaders of the country, who have led the country, who have been leading. They are not being. They are not. How many times you heard them have press conference? Mr. Cummings, where he get today? Not many of them. And we can attest to it. The records are there. Mr. Cummings.
The past leadership, you mean Ellen Johnson said did not do that.
Manasali tried her best. She did more than we are. She did more than Boyka. I'll be honest with you. Manasali, she had a conversation with the president and to engage. But the current press conferences are not remote control or the plan. The tell the people what question to ask, and he don't like telling people. He will open up to everybody to ask the questions, and that's why, and that's one of the things that
which is good.
Makes it different, yeah. But like I said today, I think he was right not to just jump into politics right away, but he left it open that for the fact that he was saying things that were in interest of the Liberian people, to reassure them and telling them some of the things that could be done, especially with our natural resources that we got. That he was trying to also tell the people that we shouldn't be poor. Even if America stopped their aid, Liberia shouldn't. We can make it. We can make it happen. In other words, he was saying we can do it. We have the resources to get us going as a country. I think he was open, and like I said, he left the door open that in the future time to come, perhaps he will gradually get in the process. One good thing I heard from people today when I spoke to some people, different people, they said the good thing about it, he didn't say he ain't taking part. That what we were worried about is for him to come and say, look, I throw in the towel. I'm done with Liberian politics. He said when many people said that they were happy that he didn't say that today. They were happy and they both felt reassured, people felt inspired. So as time goes by, like I know I contacted him today directly. And usually he'll respond to when we contact him, he respond maybe in the morning hours there. He respond to us. And because he promised us, people is aware that he will come on our platform once he breaks this silence. So we're expecting him, we're looking forward to that. But so far, in my own thing, he answered the questions. I think he answered the questions he needed to answer. He addressed it. And like I said, but see clearly Liberia, when they asked him about running for senator, why he didn't. It's like a man said, people have already failed. What need to be learned from,
But that's not an answer. In a president said people have already failed as well. So he still want to be president.
Yeah,
so
but
that was not an answer. People have already felt like when the president said over and over, he still wants to be president. So when she asked, when they asked him about the senator position, I don't think the answer was very good when he said it, because that's why he's running for president, because the failure of the presidents, the past presidents. So then how you would say, oh, people are already
He said you're going senator to learn from, to learn. He said, where did to learn? Where did to learn? And where did to learn? Or you're trying to say, where did to learn? And they say you should start as senator so he might learn. That was a point you're making, But Chris, like I said, like you said, everybody get their own perspective about how they view it. I thought he came very strong today, and he not to announce jumping the politics. I think he did it. It was a smart move, but he left the door open. He didn't say he would not take part. He didn't say he just left it open. But I can tell you that from today's press conference, I can tell you that people should be hopeful that he might come in. And lastly, as I end, for the fact that Liberian people were looking forward to this day, it showed it had not been a day in the past. When coming talking, people would say, "Oh," but everybody was like eager to hear from him today, because I can tell you that it shows that the people they're not happy. They're looking for an alternative, looking for options now. So they say, "Well, when you hear the Cummings," and then you go to social gathering nowadays, most of the time they'll say, "Wait, this time the Cummings time, the other poor time." So.
Yeah, but because I bring to put people in line, I had to put Joseph Baga in line. They can hear the president say on donkey, right?
Yeah,
so
but
they put people in line, but you in this day and age, you can't start putting people in line for presidency. You have to make sure you listen to the rest of the people that are coming on board. That's it.
But the message
to put people in line.
But Grace, the message, I won't call name, I won't embarrass the person. But today, somebody prominent from UP told me today, said, because the person fell off. But he said, "Oh, Georgie, I'm beginning to believe Mr. Cummings now." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Yeah." But he said, "Because, man, the person said, everything has been blah, blah. But right now, I'm trying to believe in him now. That I think he means well. He has a vision for the country. And, well, if you listen to him carefully, most of the things we're talking about, I think that
I listen to him carefully. Yeah. Most of the things he said has been said on all these platforms. People have talked about them. And I appreciate it coming from him as a political leader. I would give Mr. Cummings his pride because he came out to speak, and most of the political leaders are not coming out to speak. That one I would give it to him. But I just think that he could do more, and he should start to leverage if he is going to. He should start to speak or more, telling the Liberian people what could be done differently. Bringing forth ideas that can be done, even if the government would take it, at least it would be coming from him, so that people can know what he would be able to deliver for Liberia if he is going to be running this election. For me, I just think that when you run 2 times, when you need to throw the towel in and move on. I just think that was
for Peabody.
Look, Tomalin, I think Mr. Cummings spoke like a real leader today. He spoke like someone who knows about the political landscape, who knows about the business environment, who knows what it is to fall down and get up, who knows what it is when it comes to investing in Liberia, who knows what Liberians need. And I think he did it clearly today. But one thing Mr. Cummings said, and I'm glad he said that, because Liberians knows how to make up lies. They know how to sit in the corner, young and old. They hear one story and they go about running. One of the journalists said when they asked him the question that he should have been vice president of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. Cummings responded and said, "I do not make the decision of who become a vice president or not. Who should be vice president or not." And that simply meant that nobody asked him to be vice president for Joe Baga. Joe Baga did not ask him. That's what he meant. But Liberia, everywhere you go, Joe Baga asked him and he refused. President Baga asked him to be vice president, he refused. He said he would never be president. And then when you pressed him so high, they was like, he said he wanted to be his own man and stuff like that. And that's the lie that I'm glad that he clarified today. He was able to clarify it clearly. Mr. Cummings, I didn't watch the whole press conference, but the one I watched is like he spoke as a leader. There's nothing wrong with trying 1, 2, 3 times until you become successful. And that's why people don't understand. Even within business, a thing that you do, you try the first time, it doesn't work. You try the second time, it doesn't work. You try the 10th time until you get up. Anybody who just give up on the process, it means that they ain't able to run that race. But Mr. Cummings spoke like a real leader. He spoke like a very knowledgeable person. He spoke like a businessman. This is a man who have invested in Liberia, have provided jobs for Liberia, and he's not one of those who will be out there boasting about it, talking all over the corner. Oh, I did this. I provided 2,000 jobs. And that's what I tell people: get to know the man Alexander Cummings, and you'll know who he is. People just sometimes we sit back and we just develop the preconceived notion about people, our Liberian, and that's it. The lies, Liberian. Oh, they're trying to be for president. Oh, and that's the same thing I've been going around with this dual citizenship. I'll put a lot of them don't read. Oh, they say you carry if you don't carry your passport, oh, you don't come by any country. Then they formulated a lie about somebody from Ivory Coast, somebody from Ghana that was sent back. I was somewhere on Saturday at the regular Doma shop in Philadelphia. One guy came there and was talking. Oh, they sent a few Ghanaian back. They sent him back. I said, can you show me any link to that? He said, oh, they sent him back. When I look, he did not have anything to prove it. He switched the topic. Then halfway into the conversation, I asked him, could you just show me that link again to let you forgot? And he didn't have it. He was lying. But he was insisting on the table there, lying. And that's how Liberians can lie about certain things. So I'm glad Mr. Cummings did clarify that. But Mr. Cummings was very clear today. And I think it left for him. If he wants to come back into the politics, he can do that. But I think this is a man that Liberian people missed. They should have taken this man over what you have now. They selected somebody who you got to be putting in pickup, but to be driving around for celebration and stuff like that. Against somebody who is really able, who has not only but the outside connection. I mean, this man, we met with him. He told how many presidents that he met, different countries that he worked, different people that he made to invest in Coca-Cola that are millionaires today. One of those persons is the president of South Africa. He encouraged him to invest in the Coca-Cola, and he became a millionaire today. Different people around the world, Rwanda, Ghana, other places, leaders that he knows, not just know them personally.
Did he encourage any Liberian to invest that became millionaires?
Of course. There are Liberian that invested. Yes, he did.
They became millionaires.
Well, I don't know what it became, but if you invest your money, you get good. If you invest it well, you get good results and stuff like that. But I'm just citing an example of some of the things that he did. He's not one of those who would be all over the place. Got in here. Oh, I got business in Liberia. Put it all the way here. Oh, I drink the business. Oh, I hired 20%. I mean, he's not those kind of people. He's more for action than for flamboyancy. That's the kind of person with a coming age. Going all around, oh yeah, this, blah, blah, blah. No. He invested in Liberia. But I think Mr. Cummings, look, people have their own views about him, and which is honest. I like people's view of what they think, but I think again, Mr. Cummings is one of the best Liberia ever produced. And if we want to talk in just how I see what's the guy name? Moneyball, one of the finest politicians. When I listen to Moneyball, he's a great politician. He knows how to engage issues. He got a great platform. I think Mr. Cummings is one of the best that Liberia ever produced. But we don't see things. We love trouble. We love problems. We love to get in problem, and that's what Liberians like. We are very good in making bad decisions. That's what Liberians are excellent when it comes to making bad decisions. And that's why we continue to suffer. That's why our country have gone nowhere after this time. You take a young, vibrant, well-established, well-known, and you decide to put him down and put somebody else over there. So I'm telling you, I think Mr. Cummings spoke like a leader today. He spoke like a great leader.
Yes. Again, I would like to also add on to it. Honestly, I would have, look, let me be clear. If Cummings were president or Moneyball were president today, or Gongloe, Liberia would be in a better place today. I'll tell you that for the fact. It would be a better place.
But did you vote any of them during the 2020?
I voted for Cummings, the first round. Oh, yeah. I voted for Cummings. I was clear. Yeah.
I did too. I voted for Mr. Cummings.
Yeah, I was clear. I didn't hide it. I was public. I made it public. I voted for Cummings because I knew the Cummings was the best among everybody that was running. I'll tell you the truth. He could take the country to the next level.
No, he was not the best among everybody. He was one of the best.
Yeah, okay, but
they have real solid people in that.
Yeah, but in my opinion, he was the best. I have voted for him, man, because he was the best for me.
In your opinion, for your
because I interviewed him several times. I talked to him one-on-one, and I can tell you he had a vision for Liberia. He was clear. He said, "Look, if you think by supporting me, you come in to enrich yourself, then you're in the wrong place." He was clear. Don't support me because you feel that you come and have your another to get rich. No, because there's a man like today in the press conference that people alluded to. He was telling Liberians how much potential we have and what the country can do. Okay, and like I listened to Councillor Gongloe, I think a few minutes ago, he said something about how to cut down. Like our officials, the government today, they're running with 4-5 cars in the convoy. No, Mr. Cummings, there's a man who is a multi-millionaire, a proven multi-millionaire. Okay, he could have about 7-10 cars, but he lived a simple life. I would tell him, Mr. Cummings, you got to win before you govern. When you win election, then you can govern the way how you want to say. But Liberian people, if they will just, you got the optics. You got to play with the optics with them because that's how you got to do it. And I'm sure he's learning this thing because when he came outside today from the press conference, the children that had behavior there, they were singing song because they know what they want. But he already knows that the whole MO. So he danced with them. Chill with them, and got in a car. And I know his staff and his there took care of them, but he danced with them. He identified with them. He not just say, "Oh, hi, and Papa." There, he identified with them. He danced with them and went to his car. That's how you do it, though. And I'm sure with the last 2 election circle and then he being Liberia, one thing he understands Liberian people very well now. And that's why I think if he make another run, I can tell you that he will be a different politician. I can see it. And I will say again, we talk about Liberian, the richest Liberian guy they talk about now, this Dennis guy. Cummings had a part to play in his success today. And Rachel Dennis had a part to play in his success today. In New York, they will tell you. These are people who are successful today. If I hit a man worth almost $800 million, the guy.
Yeah, but Richard Dennis built his wealth from scratch.
Yeah, but Cummings had a part to play in that. Do you know that? Oh yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
I'm telling you, I share that with you now. Yeah, I'm telling you, he had a part to play.
In what way? Because you guys have been saying stuff. In what way? Because Richard Dennis built his wealth from scratch within his house with his mind, all part of that stuff. So how did Cummings play a part in it again?
He had a part to play Grace from when I was selling the thing is that soap that what the soap means everybody, that soap.
Yep.
Soap. In New York, in the streets there. Cummings was one of those who guided him, gave him the business, guided him. He told me that he would tell you. When he came and asked him.
Yeah, they're very close. He did, Grace. That's why I say he's not the person who goes around and want everybody to know what he did.
No, I'll tell you a story, Grace. I remember I was in 2021, I think we had a visit with him at a house in Atlanta. I think it was Ben, Mariah, myself, somebody visited him there. We spent a whole day with him. And the way I know this, I said, but
so he's your friend. That's why I see why you're talking for him like that.
But he's
your friend. No,
yeah,
when we're talking about political leaders, we're talking about people, we're talking as people who are not friends with them.
Yeah,
don't know these people. So when you come in like that, because I don't know you, you know him personally. I don't know him personally. The other Liberians don't know him personally. What he presents to us, he face value. That's what we're going to take. And that's the thing.
So,
but you talk to me as a friend, so you will say, "Oh, he does and he does."
No, Chris.
Even somebody was coming here, Ben said, "Oh, he's very homo," and this and that. He was not homo today in the press conference. Somebody he was talking, he was trying to explain something, and somebody was trying to say something. He said, "Let me finish." The way he even said
if you jump in front of somebody and talk,
you want to talk, you want to forget his school or thought you gotta make it. So let me finish.
Yeah, but even the way he even said it, that's why I see homo people when they're speaking that I'm around homo people a lot. That one of the things that attract me to anybody, homoness. So the way he even said it was not kind of humble, but he's not at the same time, even looking at him, he's not a pompous person, but he's not as humble as you people claim he is. Because he knows you, he knows you guys are friends with him, so you would think like that. But for me, from the outside, I don't see him that way, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, but you don't know him,
And
Grace.
that's why you let the both friends into power because
Grace, you don't know him. So you don't know him.
It's about the vision, the agenda. That one made me to say he was the best at the time because the vision of Liberia is different. There's a man who was saying, look, he was clear. My first 100 days, he had plans what he was going to do. And if they say you can tell from the person past, what the man did as vice president of Coca-Cola was successful. He left from there honorably. Okay, nobody.
It was successful, but he won that administration. He had people working.
It doesn't matter. As a leader,
he was the one, and he kept. He was vice. He was not even the.
It doesn't matter, Chris. As a leader, you said as a leader, you are the vision bearer for your business. He set the leadership. He set the vision for them. And if you're not a humble guy, he won't be at where he is today.
He
because
set the vision for them. So what was the vice? What was the actual CEO, the president? So the other president named them.
He is the vision bearer that will afford that tax, and he accorded that tax, and he led it to be a successful person.
You see how they great poking here. One time they call in the show, they say, "I don't want food to vote." You say, "But I understand now. You need to stop."
I don't understand what you're saying, Grace. To be honest, I don't understand.
When you listen to a politician, I don't look at it as person. I look at it what he's saying and how much they have control over what he's saying, and you tell and explain their own plans. He doesn't matter who will look at people and no. He already it's here. He got it there. He already know what
yeah, but we can't take that away. We can't take that away from him. I mean, this man, for him to even reach the status in Coca-Cola, especially coming from Liberia, I admit that.
Yeah,
it's one thing when you try to put for his agenda and vision. It's another thing when you put him for it because you met him before and you sat with him for hours and he's your friend. It's another thing when there are people who don't know him from the outside looking into stuff. So you're learning to sell it in a more better way. You need coaching. That's why I can just say to you. You need coaching.
Well, Greg, I don't think you know when it comes to meeting people or how you don't know my way of meeting people. You don't know my way of evaluating people, and you need coaching. I don't think so. I think
Tomalin said he went to the main house. He stayed there for hours, so that man became his friend. What I think you sell this man vision for the vision that he bringing forth. Don't sell it as a friend to him because you already his friend. So we're not going to take it away from you. We're not going to take it from you like that. We want more tangibles for you to sell him in a way that will say, oh, okay, this man, if Tomalin said that, this is a vision for Liberia and what he wants to do in the first 100 days and how he can do it and what tangible will show that he will actually do these things. Then we say, okay, we consider the layman in Popolu. We say, oh, that's it. But if you're selling him as a friend because you've been to a house, you're dying, and all that thing, we're not going to take that because friendship is different from
for me,
in a position.
In our friendship, though, for me, I met all the leaders, all the people I know, president, I met them one-on-one. People will tell you, we Joe Black President Boaga. We ate with him in Delaware. I had dinner with him. Costa Cook that all ate. We talk with him. He gave us shine. Give me African shine. Oh, he gave us gift down in Delaware. One Liberia again, one day to a house again. We spent the time with him to a house. So and we talk. He came to Philadelphia. We met him again. Yeah. So it's not to say what I'll listen to the message. So I met. So Grace, I'll be honest with you. My own is not about friendship, about the country, though. The greater good of the country I look at.
I want it to be.
Yes, it's not about the individual, trust me. But I just feel that if you are giving him an opportunity, that bro won't be where he is today.
He's the best. He's the best, one of the best Liberia ever produced. That's what other people say. He's not the best.
He's been ready to hit the ground running and to change the trajectory of the country. I mean, honestly. To create jobs. You're not to create jobs. So you cut down, Grace. What happened in Liberia today?
So you say you know how to create jobs. What jobs is he creating right now in Liberia?
But he just told you today.
You don't have to be in the presidency.
But he just told you today that he invested into two major businesses in Liberia. One did not strive or came out strive good. The other one that's doing well. But he's afraid to talk about it because the fair people will be targeted.
Of course.
He brought the school there. So the other thing I'm doing in the country, but he talk about it right now. It was imagine the man was doing something. He was visiting the countries, going through the country. They said, they make too popular. That's what he had said. The person to book us case on him to delay him And that is
The only STEM school you have in Liberia is started by Mr. Cummings.
Was it his investment?
Of
yes.
course.
Was it his personal investment?
Yes. Yes. That's a personal investment. The
Wait,
only STEM school you have no
why nobody school that you asking that question like
No, I know nothing about the school, but I at least I heard on a platform that they said that it was not his personal investment. It was it was being invested through him by the company. So that's why I asked him what was the person. That's why I said I don't know how to sell a man case.
Come on.
I need to go back and do coaching. Seriously.
Well,
coaching? Chris, you tell me about coaching?
No, I mean, I'm telling you, for me to present, let me tell you something. For me to,
you need a coach. You need to learn how to coach.
No, for me to propagate any political leader agenda here, I have to go myself and do coaching to know what the person had done, then to know their vision, everything. So I have to do that. Nothing wrong with needing coaching to sell my candidate. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you don't know anything. Anything you're doing is what you have to get training to do it. It's just the right thing to do. So a case can be presented more, because if you can present a case more than this.
Yeah, because you know what, Chris? Because you know what? I was in college when I read about Alexander Cummings. I was in college in Georgia, and I read about Alexander Cummings. And
but do you know with his agenda though? The things he want to do to like his future. I'm not telling you what you read about him. That's his bio. What he wants to do for Liberia. What can he do for Liberia? What his vision for the country, his goals, the plans he had, the first one that did.
Chris, I think you need to take a time. I think you need to take a time and look at that.
No. I need you to take a time and tell me, because you how do I say? You support Mr. Cummings. So you tell me I don't support him until I.
No, because you don't know. Listen, it's not
due diligence and go and read about him. But right
Chris,
now I don't want to support
everyone here does their due diligence. The fact here is, you want to know Mr. Cummings, you need to read about him. Just how I read about Moneyball and think he can make a good president. He's a very smart guy. Just how I read and did you need to read about Mr. Cummings. I met Moneyball before. I met him. Okay, we had a conversation before. Okay, so you need to know Mr. Cummings. I don't need to know it because I already know from the time I was a sophomore in college. I read about him and what he was doing, and then his intention to become president of Liberia. I read it. I think he is one of the best that Liberia have ever produced.
Okay, so I will tell you that I read a little bit about him. I wasn't very interested. Number one, because I don't look at leaders because they have money or what millions they got. I look at leaders whether they can take Liberia to the next level. Because it can even bring up poor man. And if that man have love for country, he will take the country to the next level. So I don't look at all of that. I don't look at people millions and stuff like that. But what I'm saying to you is that I could read about him, which I did. I wasn't too interested. Okay, then it came to the politician side. I read about him a little bit, his vision, what he had for the first time he ran. It kind of struck a chord with me. I said, okay, maybe by that time I was in the race, there were no people really coming in. So I thought it was good, but I was seeing, in this kind of thing. So I just was in the back trying to push his agenda as well from the back. Now, the second time, it wasn't, because it was almost like a scene. I like to see something different because people evolve, people grow to different stages, they do different things in their life, they change. So what change are you bringing after 6 years of you now winning? Your next step, what is the change that you bring? You step on your game. I never saw the game be stepped up. And so other people came in the race. When I started to look at them, they brought more to me than what I saw. So I said, you know what? Then I changed my direction into somebody who can do better. I don't have to stick to one place. I'm not in a court, so I don't have to stick there. So I changed my direction. So that's the thing I'm saying. I'm not saying that every leader who comes to run candidate, I come to run. I do read a little bit about them. But if it's not giving to me too much, I'm not interested. I move on. The people who come with the most, that's why they pick in the race and say, okay, the person come with the most, and maybe they'll be able to do. They will represent the authenticness when they're talking. It's not fake. All those things. So you look at all those things, and then you say, okay, I choose this person. That's just what I say. It doesn't mean I never heard anything about the person. I read about each of those people, and I know who they are. I mean, from their stuff, and I follow them to see what they're doing right now, and for Liberia, and maybe around the surroundings and the personality and all the things. That's how I choose a leader. That's just the
Well,
thing.
Griff, that's your opinion, and I respect that. I respect that. I'm not going to say that. I mean, what you think is what you want to think, and I respect that. But all I can, for my opinion is, I think he's one of the best Liberia ever produced. And if I mean, he would make a very, very good president of Liberia.
Yeah, let me welcome Lofa on the platform. But Grace, I will say this though. I think we'll go to after Lofa talk. Then we'll go to the last one, next topic. But I'll say this. You see, I don't I'm not a fan of Trump at all. But guess what? There's some things that Trump is doing right now, especially with the uses on it and some of the corruption and stuff that in the American institution. I support it. So it's always I look at the bigger picture, the greater good. I look at. Okay, that you say they say give money to this country, that country. When you go to find out, it's that. For instance, I listened to one inspector general that appointed by Obama to check on the American support in Afghanistan and other countries. The people were corrupt. The Mary Baker report. They were giving these contracts to people, to people in their friends there, giving them contracts in millions. So they're working in Afghanistan, in Iraq and things, but they're making themselves rich. Okay, and but they're spending 200 million in this country, and right now, with all what's going right now, they're trying to find out that the uprooting corruption in this thing. Okay, but because they're doing certain good things they're doing, I must say, oh, because I'm now a Trump fan, I must say, oh no. For me, I say it's for the good of the country. And personally, look, I listen to all the politicians in Liberia, and I'll always tell you, those who have the mind to face the microphone, to come in on the camera live and engage the people and share the vision for the country. And the kind of people I listen to care for it because they come. You ask them question. How will you pay for this one? How will you achieve this one? They'll answer the question. They won't come and give you lecture. They say, I will give everybody. Everybody will have jobs. I will create 10,000 jobs in my 400 days or in my first year. That one coming was you're saying. It's everybody. Okay, like for instance, the Peabody said.
So how? They want you to say it, remember, how will you do it? That's so honestly, that's what we look at. You have to align the values, the technical know-how when you present these things, how you're going to be able to do them. How you need those kind of information.
If you follow him, this one was true. He explained all that thing, how you do it, how you cut down waste and fraud. You cut it down. So how you feel that you'll do it. And he said today, our natural resources with God can help us. But because he said people are getting the money, they're not using the money for the country's wealth. They do all kinds of stuff against the country. That's what God is doing. Okay? What we find ourselves in today. It's just because of corruption. Before Lofa come in, me give something. The example, right? The Minister of Internal Affairs. I think I shared a document yesterday. How will you take this? I asked him today, I said, Mr. Minister, your money. How fair it is to take $195,000 to fix your office when JFK, Jackson F. Doe, military hospital, and other areas that need help, they don't have the resources to use the office. How you feel about it? And then I saw Garguah and the other guy's signature on it. Okay, much I respect Garguah for everything, but to come to that point where they will sign agree on these things, I have a problem with it. But then it means you can't talk. I look at the document. I can put in the chat room too. Do you know? And that's it. President Barker shouldn't be selective. The action he took on that lady should be across the board because I will see documents I received today from Togar where they all sign. They carry that woman brought. They sign it. They sign for that. They approve for that woman to have that car. They approve it. They both all sign it. They made a call Appleton there. They sign it. And then, but so I believe all of them should be held accountable. Not only who I want, but Lofa, Wayne.
Well, great to be on here, guys. Good discussion thus far. I'm enjoying the conversation as it goes back and forth. But I'm going to focus on the topic regarding Mr. Cummings' appearance today. And I think in his deliberation, he actually proved what a lot of people have been very doubtful all right, that he is indeed not only a presidential candidate, but he's far beyond that. Few things that I was actually looking for to see in his his approach today was what people have consistently talked of. People were thinking, okay, he's anxious to be this president, so he's so eager. So people expected him to come right out and say, "Yes, I'm going to be this guy running 2029," and then he actually instead said to Liberians, "Look, why it is true that I want to serve you, I want to be your president, but I also want you to not only look at it from that perspective, I want you to consider what we are going through right now. What the decision you made, has it gotten you to where you expected to find yourself in the first year? Yes, I gave you a platform. I told you the how and the when or where. You did not consider that. You had the worst thing to say, regardless of whether he may have stated that forbiddenly, but that was not done. But he alluded to the fact that, look, why I am as much eager or willing to serve you, I still would not come as this guy who is just so desperate as some would want to present me. Yes, I want to change Liberia. I want Liberia to be amongst other countries that are actually there. The citizens are benefiting from the resources. Mr. Cummings today, his response to all of the questions that were posed, people expected this man to come out and stop bashing the government. Okay, what a lot of us are accustomed to, especially in our body politics, is we are so accustomed to the negativities and the amount of just being vocal without much. Had Mr. Cummings come out today and started being very combative, just being dismissive of this government, I think people would have been like, "Oh yeah, yeah, at least Mr. Cummings, he's actually advocating for Liberia." But this man is being objective, and that tells you that he's now understanding that he's a politician. He's not only a businessman, but he's a politician, because in order for you to get things done in Liberia body politics, you must understand the dynamics of the politics. If you were to put anybody in the seat of Mr. Cummings today, they will probably be doing the same thing. They'll be telling you, look, there are places where the government is failing. And he outright told us, he told us from the get-go, he said, look, this government started to shoot herself in the leg when he made reference of the fact that they score on themselves. He used the soccer analogy. He shouldn't have to come as a professional person. You shouldn't have to come and say, the government sucks. All of the things they've been telling us, they lied about it. The Lofa Julius can do that. The Grace can do that. She can come up and say that the government is incompetent. President Guar is incompetent. Grace is not in the race to run for the presidency, so she can say that all she wants. She, in her capacity, she's an advocate. Lofa Julius is serving as an advocate, and he can also serve and say what he wants to. But in his capacity as a potential presidential candidate, as a former presidential candidate, he must understand that domain where he's at. He cannot come out like that, but he can code his statements, and it's upon us to decipher all of those statements that are made. And today he threw out a lot out there. He spoke of the incompetence of this government. He highlighted the fact that they were elected to help transform Liberia and fight corruption. Unfortunately, they have not done that. He highlighted the fact that decisions that are made are based on selective judgment. It's not based on addressing of corruption holistically. So a whole lot of things were said today, but a man who is well composed in his demeanor when he addressed the public, he will never be like the Henry Costa. He will never be like the Lofa Julius, who yell, his lungs out, or he would not be as, the Guar, Dr. Peabody, or anybody who just, we are very forceful in our utterances. It's not going to be the case. He is going to be well reserved, and he will address the questions the way he feels best. But considering what I heard from Mr. Cummings today, I saw a prepared candidate who is willing to, again, get in the race and take on the task, that mantle of authority to say, I can transform Liberia. I am in the position, I am prepared to do it, but I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to twist your arm. I want you to see the quality in me. What I can do for you, I want you to see that. And that is how decisions are made going forward. In corporate America and other parts of the world, even in the public sector, people don't just bring people on because they believe that this person is that guy. I'm friends with that guy. No, it's based on quality. What quality does that individual possess? Will you be an asset to this institution? And I think beyond all reasonable doubt, it has been shown, and we can clearly see that those who were selected over him have shown to be a massive failure. So going forward, Liberians are now gearing towards, focusing as you discuss politics in Liberia. You cannot discuss politics in Liberia and have 2 or 3 paragraphs without mentioning Alexander Cummings. You can't name 2 or 3 politicians in Liberia without mentioning Alexander Cummings. You will go probably or George Weah, Alexander Cummings, and then the boycott them. But before you even go down the line to Moneybag, Kehleboe Gongloe, and then that's how it is. But the reality is, today he came out ready. He proved to himself that, and his supporters, that yes, he is ready to serve. My only thing here is, I would say, people around me appear to not understand, a few things, that they're still dealing with the old mindset as to how to get this man out there, how he addressed certain things. But I think that Alexander Cummings will always be an Alexander Cummings. Hopefully he can, make a little bit of adjustment. But I think he was well off today. He well represented who he is and his ambition to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia. And I think he's well on his way to doing that, because Liberians themselves would tell you that they're sick and tired of this current government. They came to save, but they're not doing that. They're too corrupt.
Thank you. Let's hear from, welcome, Madam Cyril B. Dopo. Cyril, let's hear from you. Been away for a long time. Maybe you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I was kind of looking for the show, but I couldn't find it for some reason. That's why I texted you to ask you what happened. But I just heard part of what Lofa said. I don't really know what you guys. I think you guys are discussing about Mr. Cummings, right?
You listened to his interview today?
Huh?
You listened to Mr. Cummings' interview today?
I saw post from Reverses Pro. I didn't really listen to the interview, but I saw a post where he was talking about he's an investor, he invests he invests in Liberia. He can call the name of the company for some reason, something like that. But I really didn't listen to the whole interview.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what so far, what you have listened to, or what you have heard, reading, because I don't know, his interview was done when most people are at work. So, when you're working, you can't be, nowadays, you can't be looking at your, like that.
Right. Especially for those who are in the nursing field, we kind of straight about that. But, what I want to say, Mr. Cummings is a viable candidate, okay? No mistake about that. He's a viable candidate. He can be president of our country, no question about that. It is left with the Liberian people to make that decision. All of us have our side. We're going to promote our side no matter what. Whether there was CDC, whether it's Unity Party, or whatever it is, we believe in our leaders. Those of us that support our leaders, we believe in it. We know the regime was not perfect. There were challenges, but we also know the gains that they made when they were in power. So if there's no one person who can come on here and say, oh, we can't do that, we shouldn't do that. You don't speak for the Liberian people. You speak for yourself. But you don't speak for the Liberian people. At the end of the day, the Liberian people will make that decision, because most of our body politics is covered with lies. And people tend to run with those lies because they feel that some of our people are gullible. But those are all that can see and know the difference. We believe in our candidates, and we're going to promote our candidates no matter what. So Mr. Cummings is a viable candidate, and I think he can make a president of our country no matter. It depends on how he runs his campaign and how his people will promote him. They will promote him. We will promote our candidate, and the Liberian people will decide. So that's just what I have to say.
Yes, and again, like I said, I mean, we're still 1,400 days away from the election. So
right.
We're 213 weeks away from the next election. So
You know, Joe said something yesterday. He said Tomalin has started again with his countdown to elections.
Yeah, a lot has happened. A lot will happen. I tell you for a fact. We never thought everybody was thinking that Prince Johnson will be alive for 2029. Now, yeah, he's gone. Now, who knows what's gonna happen? I just before I came on the show, I just received somebody they sent me a flyer. The vice president will be visiting Pennsylvania Team March 8th. They'll be coming for the Army Town meeting. I don't know. It's a hostile environment, but again, we'll talk about that later on. but let me go back to this topic, right? But so look, what I want to see happen in the next couple of weeks and months, lead to the next election. Those who want to run the take care of this country, they should come up. Let them share the vision with the country. Come up to the country. It will help you. Share a message with the country. People can make their own decision just from hearing from you, you know. And I saw today, I know President Weah in Nigeria right now, from the Democratic Republic, on his tour, African tour right now.
And he was well received though in Nigeria.
Yeah, you saw that video. He was well received in Nigeria. Everything's happening. A lot can happen. So let's see what happens in the next coming weeks and months, you know. And everybody got, I know it will be a different election. I can tell you for a fact. People will have to change their whole their whole setting in a sense that the leadership will change. The other party is about to go to convention. We know what I mean. I will see what role they will play. I will give him Ben out time. We'll push Ben. Your party, you and Charlene, your part of the Liberty Party. But the Liberty Party is.
I think Liberty Party have been hijacked.
They part of the government. They part of the governing government right
now. Hijacked.
So you cannot be saying you're opposition. I hear you want me to say the opposition because you part of the government. The government are ruling party. So if you tell me say, well, we're not part of the government again. We're on about it. You have to the government. Make it represent people and say you opposition.
Are they not alliance to the United Party, Liberty Party? I mean,
no, but because they had a thing is when they say the opposition. But my point is, give opposition when you still recommending to the president to appoint people. Okay, but yeah, let's go. The big news.
Yeah, you're not talking about what's going on in the country. We talk with the party team. We got 5 years to election. You make the platform like we can't talk about the other party, that other party. Let's talk about what's going on, like bro. What would change the lives of the we talk on that topic too long.
But Tomalin, did you guys discuss about what happened to Fonati's office, the vandalism that went on yesterday?
We talked about yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, but
I have a comment to make on that.
Yeah, okay. But before we go to the next thing, you can comment on it before we go forward. Yeah.
Yeah, the vandalism that went on at Speaker Kofa's office was very, very, disappointing, and frankly, it's disgraceful for our country. And to add insult to injury, I don't know why the Supreme Court Yami Waheni guy came out to explain their intention so late. I think they should have said that a long time ago when that case was before them, for them to explain after the ruling, for them to explain to the Liberian people what they meant by the ruling. But I think it was a little too late for him to explain. But he did explain their intention and the reason for which they did not, attend the SONA. So whether Speaker Kun jump up and down, somersault, does whatever he do, at the end of the day, he's not the legit speaker according to the Supreme Court. Both sides are not speaker until they can do the right thing. They say Kofa Black was supposed to continue to assemble, and the majority of Black was supposed to do what they needed to do, go under the ruling of Kofa to give him due process in order to remove him. So now the Liberian people have come to find out that this Kwame is not the legit speaker. I just wanted to make that clear from my end.
Yeah, I mean, just to close on that, it's obvious that the Supreme Court, by Justice Yami Kokwe-Gbese, interpreting the opinion they rendered, it's clear that he said it again, that whatever you guys are doing as ultra-virus, so by you guys say electing who as speaker is illegal. And he also said, look, that's what the law says. For the minority, if you don't have a quorum, you cannot have session. And what Kofa group are doing to go when the quorum is not there, they move on. They adjourn. But in other words, you say you are elected as speaker, but the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, is saying no. What you did to tell you speaker is illegal, and we're not support it. So again, but it should bring to the conscience of the president and the justice minister now and the Senate pro tem to say, look, the highest court in the land they already interpreted their opinion. I mean, you are illegal. And as Professor Kennedy said yesterday, so that means every concession on contract you're doing right now is illegal. And it will come out of London tomorrow. So that thing they're doing, it will come out of London tomorrow. You say the court say you legal. Don't talk about governance. And mind you, I can tell you that's why maybe you guys don't know. They shouldn't fool you. They still pressuring Kofa to resign because they know that as long as the impasse prevails, it makes it bad for them. And the only thing the people are saying now, Kofa is saying, no, I know I want to be speaker again, okay, but you do it the right way. You ought to go and have elections and see what happens. And they know that the election, the result will be different. But again, that's how our country is being run. But we pray that they will come to their senses one of these days and decide to do the right thing. But the major thing that happened to one of the things that happened to was this issue about the suspending of people, government officials who declare their assets. For me, I will open a discussion and you guys can weigh in. I would say it's a little too late, but again, it's a little too late, but at least some action was taken. But one of the problem is that when I saw the communication from the CSA boss, that's not his job. That way you have an ombudsman. The ombudsman's job is to enforce people declare the asset. But the unity party talking to court. The unity party talking to court. Okay? When the man trying to do his work. So now the CSA boss telling people will enforce the president's mandate. And as the next thing I saw today, people start saying, oh, Mani shouldn't be there, Mani shouldn't be there for President Boyka. It took you how many years, almost 2 years before you come up with this action. And everybody's trying to go forward to declare the asset now. But for me, I thought that it's the right thing to do to suspend them, but whether the suspension is genuine, I wouldn't know. Whether people actually suspended or they just talking for the camera for the popular years, say, okay, we are suspended. Well, how do we know? I will see if I'm a minister. I want to see that. Sure, then I will send my guys out there tomorrow. We'll check. Find out whether that person was suspended, whether the person still acting, still working. If they're working now, it's a joke. But I think it's too long. That should have been declared as I ever said. I know Lofa being one of the key men behind asset. Well, I will start with him because at least he been on an asset issue before. But Lofa, weigh in.
So, Tomalin, like you rightfully said, I think that issue of asset declaration is way overdue. The action on the part of President Boyka, I must commend him though. At least he was courageous enough to take action, something that was lacking in the previous government. Let's be realistic about this. I think through our President Weah's presidency, all 6 years, there were people who served their entire term in government. And even though people were concerned about them declaring their assets, it never happened. Move forward. Folks would say that's part of the reason why President Weah was removed and replaced with President Boyka. So President Boyka should have been ready from day one. Upon his ascendancy to the presidency, you will think that he already had his laundry list. Check off. First of all, I am going to start at the door. If you don't declare your asset upon the time that is expected, the legal expected time of declaring your asset, I will act and I will use you as a guinea pig to hopefully send out the message to the rest of the folks that, look, I'm not here to joke. I'm not here to joke. I'm here to fight corruption as I promised. Unfortunately, he didn't act upon that. Instead, he went begging these people to listen to him. What leader would do such a thing? Asking them, guys, I heard you have not declared your asset. So can you do this within this time frame? Come on now. You are the leader. You're the president. All right. Be a little bit forceful so that people can follow suit. Unfortunately, I spoke of this before, and I'll say this again. We tend to not value technology. We don't think that we can incorporate technology in our governing system. And that's a bad mentality to go with. Had they had some kind of system put in place utilizing technology, some of the comments that you're reading on Facebook today where the likes of DJ Blue and other people are saying, I was misrepresented. I already declared my asset. My name is still on the list. May not have been there. Okay. It probably would have been limited to the extent where you probably would have had an accurate list of people who are being, put in that position and say, look, you did not declare your asset. But here we are again. Then it brings us back to what people are now questioning. The suspension, is it just out of just mere talks? Are people really going to get penalized for their refusal to obey the law? That's what I want to see. I want to see people being penalized. All of these suspensions, we heard it. We heard where people got suspended, but at the end of the day, nothing really came out of it. Were people prosecuted? Will people only get suspended? Then that more like a slap on the wrist. Then come back to work so that you can do more. No, that's not what we want. In order for us to sincerely move Liberia forward, we must be firm and legit about our views and our actions. You were warned, you were given a grace period, you did not follow through. It's time for you to go so that we can have legitimate room for the likes of Abu. So Abu can have a legitimate spot to fill out, the likes Lofa and other people will not continue to serve as consultant. They can get on and fill in some of these spots. I think there are enough people to hire. There's no reason to be waiting around here. So I think it's a little bit overdue, but I must commend him for at least the fact that he took actions that were never taken by previous government. And today we see something good happening, or at least it gave us a sense of direction. But I'm not happy. I'm not overly happy about that way, weighted effort. And at this point, it's just kind of gray as compared to being really, what I would say, blue or gray. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Anthony Gay. From Grace. Grace, about this suspension about the book, the asset. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts on the suspension. I think President Bwaka is doing a very good job when it comes to that. We the Liberians who look at Liberia as our country, and we don't look at it from a policy standpoint. We're very happy with the kind of step, although kind of slow, but at least he living up to some of the promises that he made in a very slow way. It's happening, compared to what had happened in the past, where people were just, the whole entire last government were just all law. People were not declaring assets. The president did not have time to speak on it. People were not fired. People went to the university that were beat up other students that were in government. So all these little things, but you can see that, slowly, like a turtle kind of moving. President Bwaka is putting things into place with these things that he promised. Although we think it's slow, but for me, at least that is going on. It shows some kind of seriousness. Although he still has a whole lot of stuff that he needs to catch up with and continue to do, but he's doing things that the Liberian people would like to see. We're still hoping that maybe he can empower the economy a little bit more. We're still hoping to see growth in national development. I'm still hoping to see electricity in the entire country, and water running, pipe water running through the faucet for the people to drink. We're looking forward to that. Although he been in power just a year, so hopefully the way he's moving, he continue to move and he starts moving faster. Maybe he might probably make a change. So I want to commend President Bwaka for that. I saw people on the list that I even knew. I said, okay, and I know that some of these people he has personal relationship with, and they're new on that list. He did not care. He said, you know what, you did not declare. I said, I gave a long time, because Liberia is dragging on when it comes to development and system working, institution being, put in the right place. But it's happening, and hopefully I want to see the president do more, but I will commend him on this. And he's doing what he's supposed to do. That's the right thing. These people need to follow suit, and they need to follow procedures and regulations. In any company, any government, any organization, when they come forward and tell you, say, look, you need to do this. This is the requirement. People need to abide by it. And President Bwaka making sure that happens. And I hope he able to do more in the future. Now, the president is the president, so he is not everywhere at all times. And he's an older president. Liberian people saw that they still voted him into power because they trusted him. So sometimes he pays. I understand it, because for you to get things done with these people working, everybody just trying to steal, the president cannot focus on all of that at the same time. But so I will give him the flowers today that, I'm looking forward to better things.
Peabody, on Wayne.
Well, it just for me, it just speaks to the slow pace that the president is running on. It speaks no volume. It speaks that he lack what is going on in his government for the fact that these people were given the order a long time ago, almost a year, more than a year. He said that they will declare their assets. He warned them in the past. So I think he should be firing people now. It's been almost a year since he gave them this mandate. Almost a whole year. I think this is just another float show, like Liberian people call it, a float show. Nothing going to happen. Some of them will not declare the asset. They're probably there now to the house, begging him, oh, we'll beg you, we'll try to get it together and stuff like that, just to prove to the Liberian people, oh, yeah, you've done something. If I was a leader and I gave you my order more than a year ago and you didn't do it, then I come on and say you'll be suspended. I mean, I think it just shows how weak the government is, how weak the president is. I think these people should have been fired. I mean, because this is not his first time. He did give them warning before he met with them. If they didn't declare the asset, they went to retreat. They had their minister retreat, and he told them in that retreat that if they did not declare the asset, he was going to fire you. And then after 1 year, you come back and say, oh, everybody is suspended. I mean, what sense does that make? I don't think they are honest. They are transparent about it. I just think it's just ease the Liberian people mind of the corruption spreading all over the place. It's just something to show, oh, the old man is strong. I don't think they're serious about it.
Yeah, let's hear from Sarah. You have any comment on the? You comment already? Yeah, let's hear from you. You muted, Sarah.
What I want to say here is I think it's like what the lady said on doing that paper campaign is lipstick on the pig, right? Because the law says you should declare your assets, I think 30 days after your appointment. And we gone a year after that and some months. And because the Unity Party knowing who they are full of distractionary tactics. So Ome Bwaga was in a pickup truck yesterday touring. So they know people are talking about it. So they say, okay, let's do something that will distract the Liberian people. This is not a serious thing. This is not serious. Who are the ministers that were suspended? Who are the ministers that were suspended that they declared the asset? They should have gotten the list from LAC, okay? Post the names of those ministers on the executives. They see executive marshal website that they announced to the Liberian populace that they suspended, and they should have posted those names so we can know and see them. And we need to fact check whether in actual fact they were suspended. We have to be honest to our Liberian people. I see people come on here and criticize the previous government, but when it comes to certain things, then they criticize this government again. We have to be honest to the Liberian people. If you remove the previous government because of certain things, and now you came to power and doing the same thing, you need to be condemned as well. There's no if and what about it. So let's be honest to our people and say to them that what it did is just a charade, in my opinion. It is not something that they really mean to do. And tomorrow, if you send your journalists to those ministries to go and check, you will find out that most other people going to work, they were not actually suspended. It was just a charade. That's all I have to say about that.
Anthony Gay, what you got to say about his asset suspend? Those who are suspended for the asset declaration.
Yeah, Tomalin knows many of the time when we come on here. Good evening to everyone first, and good evening to our listener, our follower. It's good to be with you guys once more. Look, this Unity Party-led administration is very good at distraction, very good at deflecting the real issue. Remember, in November 2024, the executive mansion issued an ultimatum, 10 days ultimatum, to those individuals who were not in compliance with the asset declaration. Now, under the code of conduct, the asset declaration is you must declare your asset prior to taking office. Before you put your foot in the office that you were appointed to, you must declare your asset. They did not. Up until November, the president issued an ultimatum to them for 10 days. That one came and passed. So if you check from November 12th, to be exact, the exact day was November 12th, 2024. 10 days after November 12th, that was November what? 22nd. Nothing happened to them. Today we're talking about what? February 12th, if I'm not mistaken. And this is when they suspending people. I mean, this is just a clear distraction, like Sarah said, because everybody been talking about how the pop were in the car, shaking up in that pickup, in the back of the pickup. So they try to, quiet down the narrative of that whole episode of the armed forces. I heard also another narrative of the armed forces day, the history behind the armed forces day, and they have, the Sierra Leone president. We're not going to dive into that. But here's the thing, Tomalin. Suspending people without action is not enough. Investigation without any prosecution is not enough. If they want us to take them serious, people need to be held accountable for their actions. Nobody can tell you slow down on the expressway here when you see police. It implies that when you speed, you will get cut, and when you get cut, it will affect you so many different ways. Your insurance premium will go up, and if you have to get a job that requires you driving company vehicle, it will prevent you from driving the company vehicle. So what you slow down. The action has not been taken. Impunity has always been the way of life in Liberia, and it continues to be. Right? So this is not strange. Mr. Cummings spoke to that today. Mr. Cummings spoke to the effect that these people continue to do the same thing. They continue to not follow the rule of law, but they speak of rule of law. This is not what the people voted for. You promised rescue the people. But the people are not rescued. Look at what the government is doing. The entire press conference today of Mr. Cummings was about the bread and butter issue, the economy, creating that middle class that does not currently exist in Liberia. That's what you were speaking to. This administration continue to do one thing. When people complain, then they try to say, oh, they're doing something, but they're not doing anything in reality. We saw when the price of rice went up, then they brought yellow machine to distract us. And then when we went after the yellow machine, they said, oh, quote unquote, it was a gentleman agreement. And then when we went after the gentleman agreement, they said, okay, hold on. The Liberian government is not spending a dime. They are so good at propaganda. But you are in charge now. Govern. This is your time to shine. Mr. Cummings said another thing today. Stop doing so many things at once. Pick one thing that you can do so you can be good at it, because if you start doing so many things, you will not do anything good. This government has not picked one single thing to champion, to say, okay, this is our signature for year one. This will be our signature for year two. They don't have it. Another thing you spoke to, every 6 years, we have new national plan. CDC come with a national plan. LE came with a national plan. This administration also came with another national plan. So the next administration are going to come will come with another national plan. You don't have a clear scope of national plan to focus on, so that when the next administration comes into office, they can say, okay, the previous administration came here and stopped this way. We will pick it up from here and continue this way. Nothing like such. Head touch catcher. So you want Mr. Cummings to go to the Senate to go learn what there's nothing there. So that's my opinion on this whole matter, that this administration is just not serious.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, the previous speaker said, I mean, it's better late than never, I know, but at least they took action to suspend them. But again, we got to follow through whether they was very suspended and so forth. Because UP took the ombudsman to court, and he's in court. And then yesterday too, I don't know what they were doing, making sure they got up yesterday, so they went to LCC office to go and talk about. Come on, man! Look, they must stop doing that stuff about corruption. They want how they encourage it. If they're serious for you, let all the report that they have submitted to them. Let them take it to. Let them say, if they care about office, say the president, just the minister, why are you doing implement this all the report and see how many of the officials will survive.
So probably quickly, let me just throw this in. I think their decision to take the ombudsman to court wasn't because of the asset declaration, though. It was mainly because they refused to, relinquish their position in the political party while they were serving in government.
Absolutely, Lofa.
That's why.
At the same time, too, they when Baga told them to do this thing.
That part. But the main reason why they wanted to call was that reason. And up until now, they are still serving in those positions in their various political parties and still serving in government. And that's my point right there. I'm saying these guys are a joke. They're joking. But I just wanted to highlight that part.
Yeah, it's true though. Okay, I mean, I get in news that one police officer shot somebody in 17.
Yeah, we got a video.
The police director said that he
I tag you and Lofa in that.
Yeah,
in that video.
We reached out to the director of police and he said that he'll update us maybe before the show ends. So the president on it. I don't know what they've been so long. How long it would take this one to know where we are on this case? But this thing happened, I think, hours ago. But again, we're following the issue that's happening. But look, my people, the corruption in Liberia is too much right now. To the extent, I don't know how Baga will act, but the National Road Fund, it's on the radar right now. This for internal affairs, the office business, they got a nuclear issue and everything. Guys, I don't know, but if I were the president, I would do it. I would not hesitate. But for me, back to the nuclear issue, you guys can weigh in on but the nuclear issue. The fact of the matter is that they vote on nuclear. They approve of everything that's happening. The documents are there. They sign it. So my question is, and then PPCC, they granted the people no objection. That means we agree. Where up the procurement thing, you're right. You can go ahead do it. No objection. So what? But then my problem question is, why one person is being the target now? Why all of them? Why all of them can be accountable? And the laws are clear. Okay, before you do such a thing, you got to get approval from PPCC. Just the minister got to sign. Setting threshold. Final minister got to sign. But now, because the question was, she bought a car. Myean, the board approved that she can buy a $75,000 car. But then she want to work. After they approve it, she went and said she bought 2 cars. So the question was, why did you go back to the board and say, well, but the board approved it. But the same board recommended her to be suspended or fired, whatever the case. But if you guys are filing the case, I want you guys to weigh in on this no-car issue. Then we'll go to internal affairs, we'll go to other corruption cases.
Look, Tomalin, let me come in here.
Yeah.
Look, that's why we're saying people are not honest, transparency in this government. This is the same local where President Guar had his nephew there prior to taking over. Some money, some check were written, and it died. You brought Appeton. Appeton went and started having meeting here and there and taking different money. When he went for his confirmation hearing, they talk about how many money they have taken out of the cover in a short period of time that they appointed him chairman of the board. They all are aware of it. And I don't see anything happen. Even with the PPCC carefully evaluating that whole thing, they didn't advise them. I thought they was to advise people and say, look, man, this doesn't look good. The process doesn't look good, and all this kind of stuff. They approve it. You got board. They don't do anything. They are on the board for board meeting and get money and they get out. If the manager presents something, they try to get a cut out of it and they approve everything and leave. They are not board that will sit there and say, we'll reject this. They don't want to reject it because they think they will not get their board fee or certain cut they should get, they will not get it. So the fact that they are bringing it on this tenants alone, I think is very deceptive. It's very dishonest in the fact, that all of them sat there, agree, approve of everything. Now they're putting it on her because she's the boss. So she must take everything. They are going to block out their line because if you look at the suspension letter, they say based on the recommendation of the board. Yeah. So what board recommended this? Was it the same board that sat in the meeting and approved it and got their board fee for, I don't know, 5,000 or how much they got? And then they go back again, change the tune to the president. Oh, we need to suspend this woman, all of that. So, I mean, what it speaks of? It speaks that Liberia is just not a transparent country. Even everybody are just so greedy, dishonest, corrupt to the core. And unfortunately, she probably won't get the job back.
Oh,
Or they suspend her for some time. She'll go back and nothing will happen. The PPCC, I don't even trust them either. What have they done with the case involving Speaker Kofa that they were bribing people out there and the kids were taken to them? What have they done?
right.
LCC. What have they done? Nothing. So it's just a whole gang of criminals sitting around acting like they're running government, but they're all getting bribes and caught. And you can't get no truth. That's why you got others sitting on top of others that can nobody want to take action. Nobody want to take action because if they take action, it will catch them. The same people will catch. So nobody want to take action. Unfortunately, that's why Mr. Cummings said today, we can't keep repeating the same thing and getting the same result. Sad. Very sad for the country, but that's how nasty and corrupt that country is.
But gratefully come in. Let me say this. So, look, the country, look, it's sad that the country got money. On a serious note, the kind of money the people can play with. I mean, the kind of money the people play with. 500,000 just to do to check between Cape and Roses to check whether we got oil in that corridor. Yeah? Just imagine the kind of money we play with. $500,000, almost half $500 million just to check for oil business. Okay, then the cars they people buy in the country, they say they're approving a buy $5,000 car for $5,000 car. I mean, look, imagine if we were saving the kind of money, what could happen? But everybody giving them brand new cars, and that's why you say when you talk about certain government or coming power, people they kind of choose one see when somebody said they will change, they always want to see change to happen, but not to see the things that have happened over the years still happening. Look, but then when you listen to the issue about the road fund, issue about the internal affairs minister, the transport minister that own the office and thing, and you got Liberians that in Liberia there that are doing fixing furniture. You can buy it from right there. But guess what? They buy it from China, from other places there, and the money just being spent, and everything's about kickback. Out there, they hustle. By the time the money is say, okay, they approve it. I go call my man. The budget will got there 200,000 for the project, but with the Liberia Team is 75,000. So I don't want it. I want not. That's what happened in the country. And then number two, don't depend on the senators then who are oversight though. Because it's a complete cartel. Because the man will say, I got one side, my committee got one side over your institution. When that thing pass, don't forget about us too. And that's what happening. Look, it's a sad thing though. The only way we'll move forward, we put the right leader there. I will continue the same way, we'll be just like this. But Grace, where you know.
Well, I mean, as we all know that it's a lack of attentiveness, because for me to see all those signatures are signed on the amount of money, given to the lady to buy her car, and we all know it's supposed to be at least $45,000, and they saw the $75,000, they still signed. So the first thing is you start to think about what the policies are when it comes to getting car for a CEO or president of the company. I don't know her position. I think she was the head, right? She is. Yeah, so all those things. So, I mean, even after they signed, though, and when she went to get the car, the people did not agree to give her, that receipt to show that she bought $45,000 car, means that, in another sense, that was the amount of money that she was supposed to be given, or that's the amount of money signed to her to get that particular car. So it means that they were stealing right there. So now she was trying to get the $30,000 back and they couldn't give it to her back, so she had to get another car for $30,000. So how did this whole thing go on from all these different heads who were supposed to sign these documents? They did not catch it because they're not paying attention, lack of proper process. And when you put people in positions that who just went there to just do what they wanted to do, what they want to do, and not paying it, because you can't say now that they are not, they don't know their jobs, because we don't know their credentials, we don't know their experiences. They are in this position. But anybody who knows, when you're working in a situation where you have to do with paperwork and stuff like that, when documentation coming in front of you for you to sign, you have to make sure you are following real process and procedures. For my little day, 24.99, sometimes they say 23.99 job are doing. I even go to court sometimes for appeal when I process cases that fail. They carry me to court for it. I have to go and tell the judge why this happened, and this is the process I follow. I have to lay all that down, to make sure that the client understand this is the reason why you did not pass this. Because the audit, when they come to audit my work and they see the different mistakes I made, it takes away from my department if we're supposed to get some raise or something. So you have to be, so all these things, what process is in place, how these people are evaluated at the end of the year when they do their jobs and stuff, how they evaluated to get bonuses and stuff like that. So they don't care because none of those things are in place. That's why we need a leader, a vibrant, innovative leader to come and take over Liberia. We want somebody who knows what they're doing. That when you put people in place, as soon as the mistake, you catch it right away. Okay, how this thing is happening, And if one of those people on that signature paper knew exactly what they were doing, they would have caught that thing before even Ruston even got in this trouble. Maybe they would have advised us, say, no, you know what? This thing is not adding up. You don't want us to sign the paperwork because they will catch you at this other point because you're going through processes. So that's the thing. So Liberia has some way to go. And until we can change, our direction and start looking up to the same people to lead us, it's not going to be an easy thing for that country to change around. So we're hoping that, there will be a message here sent in a way. When I mean a message, if this goes to court and she's found, guilty of this matter, they should start putting people in jail for corruption. People gotta start going to jail for corruption, but for the people to know that this thing is not going to be. And I just like that the way these things coming up, we'll see if the government has the guts to be able to prosecute these matters, and moving forward. Even if it takes a little while before they do it, but we want them to get there. So the next, government that will come in will just hit the ground running with what they have put in place. But people need to start going to jail for these things, or other people just got away with these things. It's so painful watching, seeing our people suffer so much that they can't even send their children to school. People who respect themselves not supposed to even beg people for money. They don't have that. Parents are very proud of people. You go and beg, for your child to go to school, or beg for your wife to go to deliver to the hospital. All those things. So until the environment can change, because of the leadership of the country, nothing will work in Liberia. And we're hoping that more leaders will come in this race, that will have option to put the right person to lead Liberia to the better place. Thank you.
I think you weigh on there already too.
No, I've not spoken on this issue. So, in a country where law works, or where you find a leader with a political will to do certain things, says Grace, that's when you will see people working. As Liberia is today, if Liberia is giving 10 billion United States dollars to this current administration, it's not going to move a needle. I can guarantee you that. You know why? Because of the mindset of the people in office, especially starting with the president of the Republic of Liberia, the Excellency Jose Imobwaka. It is the tone that you set as a leader that what can allow the subordinate to obey the rules and regulation. Amin Boda bought an expensive car here and we saw it. What happened? He resigned. That's it. Nothing happened. Resigning because you took government money and purchased something that you're not supposed to purchase and you just resign and it's okay? No, it is not okay to just resign and walk away. So from that aspect alone, it tells you that this administration is now serious about corruption. You have your arrest agenda, a very fine acronym, arrest, right? Agriculture, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism. Very fine catchphrase.
Let me interrupt real quick. So, Moda resigned, right?
Yes.
So, what else should have been happening to him?
He's supposed to be investigated and prosecuted. Just resigning but misapplying government fund, it's not enough.
I know maybe everybody got a different perspective, but
it is not enough.
He resigning.
First of all, let's be fair here, right?
Yeah.
He didn't take his personal money.
Yeah.
He took government money that does not belong to him to purchase something that he's not supposed to buy. So just by resigning, is that it?
I mean, it'll say he had taken that money and use it but the car not with him, right? The car back.
Yeah, but what is the penalty? Just resigning as the penalty?
He lost a job.
No, it's not enough.
Oh, but I don't understand. By the way, maybe lose a
job.
job.
I mean, it's not enough because here's the thing.
So he lost his job.
Lost a job.
But listen here, right? The administration was supposed to fire him. They gave him an option to resign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at Burkina Faso right now.
Yeah.
You know what the young man is doing there?
I know that. I know about Burkina Faso. Well, I mean,
what you think? What a man of that caliber, 36-year-old going to 37 years old, refused to drive expensive vehicles, stay drive in his military vehicle, stay accept his captain pay.
Everybody know what I got doing there. Everybody
good.
Know that.
So Liberia at this moment, right now as it stands, post-war Liberia, over 20 years today, where are we? What is the foundation are we striving on today? We came right back to square zero. When we said our corruption business, we overthrew a president and brought in a military rule. The military rule turned to civilian. And another war came. 2 wars. After coup d'etat in Liberia took a president life. Another war took a president life. And after 35 years today, look at where we are. Have we made any progress when it comes to corruption or the fight against corruption? The answer is no, we did not. Matter of fact, we got worse. If $10 billion is given to this administration today, we will not move forward. Most of that money will end up in individual pockets because it is the norm. Money goes to the Senate, money goes to the House of Representatives, it goes to the very ministry, it comes right back to this guy's pocket. That is this lady is only singled out now because she's quote unquote not inside of United Party person. She's not a real insider. If she was, she wouldn't have been in this position.
Yeah.
What protected her. Why is it this guy at LTA still there?
Thank you.
LTA boss.
Yep.
The audit report implicated this guy of corruption, but he's still there.
Yep.
So again, they are cherry picking who they are going after, who they want to prosecute, who they want to single out. That's what they're doing. If you're serious about corruption, you will make it your item number 1 and focus on corruption and go by it. When one person is singled out, an example is placed, and that person pay the price. Tomalin, Liberia had to deal with. They will follow suit. Until that happens, that is the reason why many of these people don't want the likes of Cummings to come into office. You know why? They want to continue their corruption. They want to enjoy the way they're working. That Liberia and the hard business, you don't understand Liberia, that kind of business they want to be doing. No, we can do better. We can make Liberia a better place for all Liberians. We just have to do the right thing. Liberia is not a poor country. We possess up to 46% of the rainforest in West Africa. We are not poor. Our leaders have set us back.
Yep.
So I want to end with that note.
Yeah, okay, but I think you can also, Lofa, you're waiting about the, I think you saw the General Affairs Minister stuff too. You saw that one, right?
I had to say something on that.
I didn't speak to the rostering struggle.
Oh yeah, you guys wait on. Go ahead.
But regarding the Rosalind Swakoko thing, though, let's be honest here. I would definitely applaud this government for taking action, at least her suspension and the level of public humiliation that she's going through. I really wish this is something that started from day one of President Boyka presidency. You know, I can see why every Liberian, we are so, we are hyped about some kind of result. But let us not dismiss the fact that what Rosalind Swakoko is going through right now in itself is a form of humiliation. She never expected this, okay? She never expected to go through what she went. The fact that you are publicly ridiculed, you invited for investigation, and then the vehicles were taken from you, then you got suspended. She's not going to play the role of President Boyka when he claimed that he was never fired because we had less evidence when it was speculated that he got fired. Some people, then he claimed that he was never fired. Into this word, we have evidence. Whether you want to claim that you were fired or you did not get fired, you were suspended, we know that to some extent, you apply what we will consider incompetence. So I must give it to this government where they deserve to be appreciated for at least some action. But what we want is beyond that, because I think we have waited too long for this to happen. Government after government, they have consistently proven to be corrupt. So at this point in time, I don't think part of the reason why most Liberians are critical in their analysis when it comes to some of the little things that we should applaud the government for, they are not trying to give it to them. It's not because they're simply trying to be political, but because Liberians are anxious to see true transformation. We're sick and tired of corrupt government officials. You know, I hate to sound redundant or, just to kind of speak to Anthony's statement here. When Mr. Cummings mentioned earlier today, he said in October, he said he had a conversation with a former, I think, government official who told him, yes, we saw every good thing in you, but the status quo just could not accept you to be a part of us. The reason being because had we allowed you to come in, definitely you would have taken from us. And I said this during the campaign, time without number, and thank God I don't delete a lot of the videos, my videos are still there. Okay, I said this. I said the status quo is fighting and will continue to fight Mr. Cummings. So if you think it's going to be an easy ride, you're lying to yourself. When you see people, former government officials, I think there was a guy who was, I don't know what, a representative or a senator, who at one point in time admitted publicly, he said, Mr. Cummings, if taken into consideration, is one of Liberia's finest, and he will be a gift to us. Let's consider, let us not waste this opportunity. He said it during an interview, but guess what? He still turned and went and endorsed President Boyka. What does that tell you? And then Councillor Kehleboe Gongloe, who is complaining today of the misfunctions of this government, said to us, we must sit on the old mat to apply the new one. Again, I come back to say this, all right? We must understand that the people with it, I'm not in any way, shape, or form insinuating that Councillor Gongloe or Kehleboe Gongloe is corrupt, but the way our people perceive things, and that's where things are going. So I'm not going to take away from this government for at least having to put Rosalind Swakoko Dennis through what she's going through, and other people who are going through. But what I want is, I want more. I'm hungry for change. I'm hungry for transformation. I'm hungry for true leadership. Mr. Cummings said, and I close on this note, he said, if you expect me to come to power because you want me, all right, to give you the bread because you supported me to the campaign, I think you're supporting the wrong person, because that is not who I am. If you want to steal, find your place somewhere else to go steal, because in government, that is not the place to steal. You are coming to government to serve. Government is service oriented. And these are some of the things that our people did not want to be a part of. And that's why the propagandists who could not sustain themselves outside of government or outside of our day-to-day activities in Liberia ganged up on him and used every propaganda. And that's why we're experiencing that. Look, we're going back to square one when we could have been on the right trajectory, hopefully going forward. But we continue to retrogress. And it's unfortunate that we find ourselves here. Now we got 6 years, probably 6 wistful years, that we will have to sit here and discuss what we're discussing today when we should have been on the right track to leave behind a better Liberia. But again, I would say I'm not going to beat on this government for suspending Ralston Swakogo Dennis, because I feel like, hey, she shouldn't have done it in the first place. She should have been well aware. She once served as a representative. She should have known better to have done what she did, even if the vehicle purchase was not for her personal use. I think she deserved to have gotten what she got, and everybody else, but they work in the cahoots. So that's the reason why you're not hearing about them, or they did not get the piece of the pie. And that's why I don't feel sorry for any one of them. I think all of them should have been prosecuted too.
Before I go to Sarah, I'll ask you. So even though the board is approved of that vehicle, you think that all should have been? You think all of them should have been punished?
I think, yeah, that's what I said in my closing statement. I said all of them should have been punished, but they formed a cahoot against her. Okay, this is what they did, and I can tell you just from the outside, just like what you see happening today in the rescue mission. People are speaking out. Some of them now, they're speaking out because they feel like they did not get their piece of the pie. Some of them are insulting. I had somebody come in my box today who apologized to me, a young man. This is a young man who consistently during the election, he was insulting me. Said I am American and think you can tell us what to do in this Liberia here. Said I'd be speaking your series and see. We will vote. This old man got experience. Today, he's apologizing for decisions that were made. And the only reason why he's apologizing is probably because he, as a member of the youth league, is yet to be called. But people who were advocating or activists, as they claim themselves, there's a young man, Jusu Kamara. Jusu Kamara today has a job. Everything this government is doing is okay. This is, Jusu Kamara. He has University of Liberia, and I state his name because I remember when this young man and other young Liberians were wearing their jumpsuit and whatever, the khaki, they claimed they were advocating and they were activists. They were standing up for true change. Today, you cannot say anything about this government and Jusu will agree with you. He even went to the extent where when Charlene just simply gave an advice, he attacked this young woman simply because she gave an advice. Those are the people who yesterday were playing advocates. You see what I'm saying? So yes, they'll actually form a cohort against this woman. If anybody who can actually investigate, dig deeper into this, you'll find out that they all knew about it. They expected to get the cuts. But when she did not give the cuts, then they turned against her and said, oh, you know what? You want to be like that? We will take this document, we will leak it to somebody who would then give it to the public. Then you will be the victim in this case. And that's what happened. So she ended up being the victim, but I appreciate the fact that because she agreed to corrupt the system, she took away from us. So I agree with it. And I pray that other people also go through the entire process. But President Boycott doesn't have it. That leadership ability to prosecute people based on substance, he doesn't have it. He's not going to do it.
I like what Ruth Robert said. Scam alert. A suspension is just a distraction. Scam alert.
Absolutely, she's right.
She's right.
She's right here for you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what everyone is saying. I think it's a cohort game they're on. A lot of them, you know. Why if Martin Colley had not, broke the story on Facebook? Why? Mm-hmm. Why if he had? Because Martin Colley is the one who had been, going through after all of these things. And I don't know. I know they send him information. Why people from the system can raise this issue? I think it's a means to target certain people probably because they're not part of the Unity Party. Get them out, put the Unity Party people there because I know when they told Roslyn, when they suspended her, they put another Unity Party person there to act. Yep. So it's just the same way they're going after all of these different people. Even some of the people that were appointed by we are government, they're trying to get all of them out so that they can put a Unity Party people there. I mean, and the thing is, it's all about service to your country, regardless of who serves. You have to, if you say you came to rescue the country regardless of who serves. regardless of who serves. So it's just everything they're doing around here is artificial, in my opinion. It's not real. They're not ready. They're not serious about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I would say, as we've been speaking, look, it's issue about the corruption is just rampant, and it's so disheartening for what we're seeing. And again, but for me, my point is why I commend the government for taking action, the president, but it should not be selective. Let hit the net wherever who is involved. Right now, it's an issue that we are getting information now. That one I pray everybody to try to do the investigation about the issue of MedTech at the port. They're linking the president's son to it. We got to find out what's happening. I know he's mad. He's very mad about that. But I mean, if we're inviting you. If you want to come, you can come here. But we got to talk about these things, and they're linking to that MedTech, whole to MedTech stuff that going on.
Is he working with MedTech?
No, but I think they're saying that he have connection with the people and so forth. So, but we will reach out to him to find out. Let him come and we'll tell him. If you send somebody, or you can come and speak. But because it's important. And once you're in a public space, you cannot things happen with your name. You gotta face it. Okay, if your father is the president and things you're being accused of certain things, the best thing to do, just come and face it, and address the issue. Don't. But if you try to run away from it, and you want to say nothing, people will have their own perception about it, and it will get in a corporate opinion. It will spread. So that MedTech thing is a big issue. We've been hearing a long time about it, and the Senate, I think, recently took a decision on it. But again, we cannot find out that whole MedTech something too, all because the question they were asking, they said who all benefiting from that MedTech stuff. And because they wanted to cancel the certain contract, the old contract, and they themselves said, "I want time that we empower and they benefit for it," and they said no. The problem started from there. It's all no. The Lofa said earlier, it's all about the eating. Everybody know. It's all no. Anything you see happening, if there's somebody leaking information, I person what they close that. I heard the issue about this. Minister of Internal Affairs on it. Okay, the guy in charge of it, the Devon minister, because you in charge of certain things to renovate the office, that budget can't through you. But because the minister closing, he go to the office, he started to handle the thing, he got pissed off. He said it.
Yeah, but Tomalin, how the Minister of Internal Affairs will pay that amount of money to invest it on his?
But look at the document. And my question is, I gotta ask the people there, what would government and sound like that thing? And these are things they approve of. Why are they doing it? I mean, why are they doing that kind of money for one office?
So for a finance minister, okay. So let me ask this question again. Excuse my ignorance here. In this case, I'm definitely ignorant to the economy and finances. But the finance minister is supposed to be well abreast of the economy, and he's supposed to be that hands-on guy who finds way to minimize costs, right? That guy who is supposed to understand, okay, how can I suggest to the president how much we can cut by wasteful spending in this area and how much where we can have all of those allocated. He affixed his signature to the purchase of $75,000 vehicle. Now, what does that say of his competence, considering the fact that he's a finance minister? Did he question any of these things? That's what I'm concerned about. Government is supposed to be smart. Government is supposed to be an economist. Government is supposed to be one of the brightest that probably should have been able to help this government spearhead things. But look at the decision that he's making.
Yeah, but if you go different, though, that thing his son was concerning the issue about the whole Noka issue. The board came out with that, but at the same time too, they have a threshold, certain amount of money that above certain amount, like which were the contract that
it was dispersed.
Yeah, they gave to Africa something. The contract they gave to them,
right?
5,000. Okay. And according to them, they did that. They said they did the evaluation. They did the procurement stuff, everything. They said they advertised it in the paper from September 9th. From September 9th to October in 5 local newspaper and thing. But my question is, that kind of money to approve, get that kind of approval, you can't give it because even the Noka Act, you give the president certain power to once the board approves something. When the board approves it, they all sign it. And when she went, my question is, why would the board approve $1,000 for one vehicle for somebody?
I'm asking the same question.
Other than getting a cut from around it. Everybody getting a cut from on the side.
It's not. Everybody got some kind of benefit from every approval.
Everybody getting a cut.
They don't affect their signature because they love their job. They affect their signature because there is a kickback to that signature being affixed. You saw these people were putting hotel for over 2 months, right? Just to remove a speaker. Lawmakers that were elected to represent the people were placed in the hotel. This whole thing about Liberia, it's not about patriotism. They are not serving the nation because they love the nation. They are in those positions just to get kickbacks and enjoy the country while other people suffer. That's all.
It's sad.
Now, when people are going to be here, going to argue, say, "Oh, the final minister is well accomplished, well learned." That's not the point.
Yeah, people say one talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but learning and having your expertise benefit your country is two different things.
That's right.
Thank you.
This money being dispersed without proper investigation. Why should we purchase a $75,000 vehicle for that lady?
And we don't even have the roads for it.
Can I come in now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. But she's not the only one that's driving that kind of car.
Exactly. A lot of them.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Timothy.
Pewee is kind of low. I don't know if that's my phone.
That phone, I can hear him clear.
No, I can hear him.
Increase the volume.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think you but be better.
At least sometimes you don't want to call it Pewee. I think Pewee is a But let me move for this process. I think sometimes we cannot hold the Minister of Finance responsible for these things. And we would love to. So we have a kind of a budget system in our country when the ministry are sending the allotment from the ministry to the Ministry of Finance. When it's sometimes they send the allotment in bulk, different actions, if you will, and then the approve for that segment or that section of the budget is approved, then the discretion is with the minister of that entity, sometimes to pull money from all of the money that was sometimes approved for different issues of the ministry, then will pull it to certain things that want to certify. And that's where they violate those things. It's not the minister knowingly signing that, okay, we're going to do the renovation for the Minister of Internal Affairs office for 100+ thousand. The Minister of Finance wouldn't approve that. But they will send an allotment. And the allotment will cover some of the operation, different thing and all. If the money is not approved, then they will instruct their individual controllers to divert those money that have been approved, those allotments have been approved for the quarter, because the Ministry of Finance do approve quarterly allotments sometimes and disperse those money to the individual ministerial entities. So they will now decide how they want to move about it. Now, there is a system that no government employee or no government official should ride at the higher level should ride a vehicle more than $45,000. You gotta stay in line. And Lofa, let me quickly say this to you. For Noka, the Minister of Finance does not approve they are autonomous. They are an autonomous agency. They approve and raise their own issue. They are very much autonomous. So due to the autonomy, the Ministry of Finance does not have any prerogative of procedure in approving or signing on to money being disbursed to them. So it's one. So they raise their own money and go about. So the CEO, that's why the nomenclature is CEO, Chief Executive Officer. She's the most powerful person in the institution. She approved those issue of allotment, and even before payment are disbursed, she will have to approve on those and sign on those payments. They will still have to have signature 1, 2, and 3, but they're proven power. So that's the kind of a problem we face in the country. The ministry will approve quarterly allotments, and those allotments will be for different actions, if you will. And sometimes those individual minister or head of entity will, in the most selfish way, try to divert most of those things. So their
personal engagement. And that's where the problem is unfolding time to time in the government. So it's not that the minister is knowing to do it. No, it's not the minister. Trust me, if you were to go through it, there was a quarterly allotment approved. And then the minister will say, okay, I want exclusively to have this kind of an office. And then they will say, to hell with you, sorry to say, I want this to happen. But again, they have already left the Ministry of Finance. It is now within the domain of the entity and the controller by entity and the head of entity. Sometimes the head of entity will override the controller and say, this is what will you do? And we divert all of the funding for let's say we're trying to do a project, the entire operation for this quarter. Push the money to my office and have my office renovated. I mean, it's quite unfortunate that we have to find ourselves in this kind of a cycle of how government bureaucracy and their allotment mechanism is unfolding. But we have to be
if I may, while we have you here, because you work in government, so you may have some insight on this. Every year, don't the government do an audit on the investment they made on the budget performance, something they call every year?
That one at the House and the Senate do it. But let me say this, but Pewee.
But the autonomous state does not preclude them from getting money from the finance ministry, isn't it?
I want to what he said about Lofa, right? But Pewee, Lofa not in error, because here's the thing though. Local board, the chairman of the board of Local, okay, was Ewa Appleton. The Minister of Finance, he was member of the local board.
Correct.
When we pay the Minister of Lands and Mines, member of the local board. But then you got Honorable Esther Allen, member of the board, Panel Fire, member of the board, Malcolm Peter King, member of the board.
I'm on the page, looking at that right now. I'm on the website looking at that. Thank you, Tomalin. Thank you.
Money. So they're all part of this board. I mean, they in their member, they're
so even though it's autonomous, but the autonomous does not exclude the finance minister of being a member on that board.
Do you want me? Okay, good question, Tony. And what I was saying, I was not saying, look, I was in the wrong.
Okay.
I was saying, basically, I was taking it from the perspective of the entire government consolidated fund where the national envelope is being approved by the Minister of Finance. From that perspective, I was telling you from the perspective of the minister. It's not an allotment coming from the finance ministry. It's an exclusive. They are autonomous, right? The minister is a statutory board member. But again, you check the record and check the journal of that city and the minutes. The Minister of Finance, the current Minister of Finance, did not attend that board. He was not part of the board at the time.
I agree.
When that process was approved. Now, I'm not saying this. I'm trying
to. Great point.
That I got information of. The minister was not on the board at the time the decision was taken, and the minutes from the board. If you were to check the minutes on the board. I do agree with my friend Brother Lofa, but I was taking it from the perspective of the national consolidated account that the minister did not see that and approve on it because they don't send their allotment to the Ministry of Finance. Otherwise, they do have an exclusive process that is done controlled by the Vice President for Investment and Finance and have the Controller General of that institution. So that's why. But it was a poor decision. It was very important for them to approve that amount because the decision was taken by cabinet during Madam Sadiq's time. There's no government official should approve acquire a government vehicle more than 45,000. You can remember when I quizzed and grilled the former finance minister Boyman Kamara, he got angry when you're talking about Liberian project, this, that. And when I pulled him on the closing arguments of years ago that he met a vehicle in the Ministry of Finance already. That was okay, very good. He bought a vehicle, $75,000 at the time. That was 2016 when he was first appointed Minister of Finance. So I'm one person that will speak against these things. Listen, we all love luxury. But if I want to get my luxury, let me do it on my own. I love luxury. I'm going to see my personal. I love to get in good vehicle, live in a good area, eat good food, drink good liquor. But it shouldn't be at the expense of the taxpayer people. All of the time some of us paying government, we were paying as government technicians on the basis of the government technicians. We had our international rapprochement with connection with other people, but that was on the professional line. And also I agree, I will never support the line of fraud, waste, and abuse in our society. So sometimes I can see my own brother can be around and say, oh, I think I was not on the show. So that told me to call his hand. I know so I was kind of be saying no, so I was not back wrong.
No, but the point you made that Garguah was not there when that money was approved, that's a fair point. That's a clear point. Yes, indeed, he wasn't.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even how about the board members? How about the board members? These are educated people too. They didn't see reason to know that our country is not there yet, and they should not be approving such amount for cars. I mean,
But Sarah, look at even look at what I'm sorry, I was saying that government too. They requested for no objection from PPCC, right? But look at kind of money that they it's like okay, we agree, no objection. You guys don't care. As soon as they deal with the roof with the money with the public minister, same PPCC, no objection, and it gets mad at $2 million. Say put you for a road. I mean.
So yeah, I just want to believe that there's kickback along the way. That's why people approve these things. I mean, I don't think somebody was just sitting out of the blue sky and approve something like that when they know that the country doesn't have, it's not there. But because they know they're going to get kickbacks along the way, so everybody just let it go because they will get something.
This is how I see, right? The way I look at Liberia, I see Liberia from a different lens, and sometimes that's part of the reason why I wonder, why is it that we are acting as though we really don't know our problem? If we were to be blessed with a leader who is looking to start prosecuting his mom, if his mom was to go in the street and ran the traffic light, put her in jail for a month without even in mentioning her name anywhere and telling people, go and speak to the police, I know nothing about it, you will notice that people will put themselves in check. But we have this society that supports the corrupt practices, and we pretend that we don't know. If Tomalin is part of anything right now, because Tomalin and I cool, and we sit on the closing argument together, when Tomalin is undergoing public scrutiny or prosecution, then Dr. Peabody and myself will want to defend Tomalin. You know why? Because we're cool with him. Oh, you don't know Tomalin like that. Don't know it shouldn't happen. Instead of us saying, you know what? It is stated, let the law take its course. Until we can have somebody who is straightforward to say, if you're found guilty of this, you will get prosecuted. Until Liberia can find herself a Jerry Rowland, may not have been the best, okay? Or that a ruler, a leader, I should say, we want a leader, not a ruler. But again, based on the way our minds and to some extent the people are corrupt and our society is so gullible, I think we need that firm leader who understands how to deal with people and not to simply just allow anything to go, not listening to everybody else, or else all of these things we are discussing here today, the next government will come and do probably worse than what this government and the previous government did, because you know what? People are not being prosecuted. Look at this government today. Let's be honest here. As of today's date, with all of the criticism that we gave the CDC government, to see that up until today, a year later, no one has been prosecuted. No one from CDC, as we claim that CDC government was so corrupt. Upon the ascendancy of President Boycott, people are saying people will get prosecuted. The only thing we saw is the fact that they started to pay. Excuse me. They started to pay people to leave their positions. Recently, they just paid. On a spiritual note, if we don't see somebody who is willing to do that, it puts us in a position where we would not move like before. We will stay here. We will remain very static. We will not take a step towards where other countries are moving. We need to have somebody who is willing. And I said, let me give you an example, and I'll close on this note. Recently, I know family and friends are not going to like me about this. My little brother, he had a disagreement with his girlfriend, and for whatever reason, he thought he was dumb enough to put his hands on her. So she called the police, had him incarcerated. Close relatives of mine called. And I asked what happened. And he said, oh, he was incarcerated. He had a misunderstanding with his girlfriend. I said, oh, really? Okay. So I said, let me have a number. Oh, we need to pay money to get him out. I said, okay, no problem. But let me have the girl's number. They give me the girl number. I call it. The girl explained to me that this fool went over to her house, threw stones over the house, and threatened to hurt her, and went to the extent where he put his hands on her. So I asked her, how long do you want him to stay in jail? She said, I want him to send 2 weeks. I said, well, after the 2 weeks, call me back if you feel good about it. And that was my view. And eventually, after a week, immediate relatives kept calling me. Can we get him? I said, no, he's not coming out. I'm not paying a dime to get him out. Let him stay right there, because the fact that he could touch that woman, he could go beyond that. And it was until I got her consent, when I called her, okay, she said, okay, it's okay. That's when we got him out. And I have witnesses to attest to the story. I'm not just coming up with this. I have folks on here right now who can attest to it. Some of them were begging me, let it go, get him. I said, no. Because that's how things start. You can't be out there doing one thing and then expect nothing.
Yeah, man. Put your hands on the woman is a no, man.
When you came on they still together?
Huh? No. They're separate. They're separated. But I mean, that's on them. My part is he went to say that he don't talk to me. He don't talk to me no more. I don't care.
Lofa, did you reach out to him to find out what happened?
No, I wasn't going to put his hand on her.
Don't do that. There are two sides to every story, bro.
And I agree.
No.
Yeah. What you're saying here is exactly what my family started saying. Or you don't know the story. Some people, the women, they can lie on people. I said that woman would not just get up and just lie on the man because she will. Or this woman and the man have kids together. I agree. Sometimes women can do certain things, but to the extent where she will lie that he beat on her, I said I just don't believe this woman will just jump out of the blue and do that. And,
look, I don't support any man, even just laying his hand on a woman or doing something, pushing a woman or hitting her. I don't support nothing like that. It's totally zero tolerance. But sometimes even checking your phone from a friend, they could land you in jail. You know that?
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Yeah.
You know, so
I agree.
I don't support that. But sometimes I would just ask what happened, why you did this and stuff.
You're right. But I mean, to be honest with you, again, I'm not trying to take away. Maybe my action was just it was just a little bit over the edge. But what I did is what I'm admitting to. Yes, I said he would stay there. He stayed there.
You should have been a man, Albert, man.
So here's the thing, though. Had I done it,
I know you are angry, but you should have been.
He would have feel like, hey, exactly. Okay, and he would probably feel like, okay, my brother's in America. If I do certain things, he can free me, and then he's this person. So I don't want that mindset to start going. All right, no, I'm not with that.
Pewee wants to say something. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
yeah, Lofa, I got you. Sometimes I told you last time. I say we will always. I agree. We have to be transparent in this war. It is important that we all have to be transparent, and transparency and accountability. We have to be always on the agenda for us to do. But we're always going to have everywhere in the world, in every bureaucracy, in every institutions, you're going to have the issue about favoritism. You're going to have some people who are protected in a given time. It's not always going to be 100% the level of accuracy. I can say this to you, my dear brother, on a serious note. Now, in this very Black administration, let me say to you here and moving forward that there will be people that will be protected, and there will be people that will be protected. From the perspective of this country, the very powerful country, there's individuals also that can sometimes bend the law and they will be protected. But what we need to do in our country, the culture of impunity is what we have to remove. And then I will agree with you from that perspective. We need to remove the culture of impunity. We need to focus on the process of advancing equity across the country. Now, we cannot balance the process here, but if we should introduce the element of equity in a given time and provide some opportunistic issue across the line, across the political subdivision, across the employment sector of our country, that is important. It goes a long way in trying to strike the balance. But you're going to always have the process about the sugar daddy deal in terms of someone be protected and someone be the issue. Sometimes you will see something that we refer to, that's a debate now in America here, something arbitrary and capricious. Those things that can happen, but the capricious nature of way we do things can be removed
ready to know. They may use the words if they say you gotta put some of that out there.
Actually, hold on 1 second.
If we went to Worogizi in Lofa County, they got something they call the Monigi, the different sector of the line. I mean, I don't want to go tradition totally because I'm a traditionalist also. But if we were to allow ourselves to be guided by the principle of tradition, things that Lobama will say, finding that also being government. So sometimes you see the way you responded to your brother's situation is good enough to have, and that's why I say your action were arbitrary and capricious. And sometimes you have to take some time and look at the way you want to handle certain things. Yeah, not because I come on,
yeah, go ahead.
Not because the issue is so hard, but there's another issue. So you ascertain some facts. You see, and there are times we get emotional. You listen to that of people they say you can't even talk to somebody that will lay here. Hey, we no one want to see anybody want to see man attack a woman. No, that is unacceptable. That can be a beast operating that way. But sometimes you see the realistic aspect of saying somebody be emotionally pushed to do certain things, right? And it may not be their dream. So sometimes Lofa, I try to behave like us Lofian. Traditional man. You have to be a traditional.
But look, 1 minute, right? 1 minute. Even I was advising a man, even if the woman says she have 5 children for you, and DNA said no for you, don't put her in a hostage. Yeah, because you know that. You be understand that. So they get 5 children for the man. You go to thank America now. DNA say not for you.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? And I see where my brother Pewee is coming from.
Yeah, that's all. But it was wrong what he did. That's a beast to do those things.
So Pewee, here's my thing.
Probably he got some mental problem or some. I'm sorry, that mental problem. He got some. I didn't mean to say mental. I meant to say what I want to say. He has some. Probably he was depressed somehow, and we have to change his mindset about some of those things that unfolded. But it's counterproductive to do that with the women.
But Pewee, here's my thing, right? The way I look at Liberia, this is I think part of the reason why we continue to experience it, and that's why I use my brother as an example. All right, and I think we are not fighting to quarantine the problem. I'm not saying we can completely eradicate corruption. Some of these behaviors nowhere in the world, even in the great United States where the system works, people get prosecuted. Women are But Pewee though, here's my thing. If we are able to minimize some of these things, then we find ourselves amongst the League of Nations and we find ourselves respected. We can quarantine these things. Ours is literally flowing over. Ours is too much in Liberia. Let's be honest here. The United States, yes, these things happen here. There are corruption in the great United States. Government officials are part of corruption. But when caught, you get prosecuted. Especially when it's public, you get prosecuted. Unfortunately, this is not the same with Liberia. When you are found, somebody higher up in government will be able to brush it under the carpet and you get away with it. How do we fight people because you know that? I could actually pick up the phone and call a lot of people back home, people who know me, okay, in government, of course, and then say, hey, my little brother's over here. Can you make a call? And of course they would have done it, okay? But guess what? I said no. As a matter of fact, I wasn't picking up phone calls from family, immediate relatives back home. I knew why they were calling. But I wanted him to feel the pinch of having to handle somebody else's child. Because nobody touching my daughter. You touch my daughter, I'm going to beat the brick off of you if I can. So that's how I thought about it.
Lofa, everything you say here is right, but sometimes do due diligence. Don't just conclude that because the person said this and they are right and you just move on. Sometimes, I mean, you have to do a due diligence. I mean, even though, as I said, I vehemently oppose, somebody even touching a woman, even insulting them just using an insult on a woman. I'll post that. But sometimes, like Sylvester said, there may be different cultures. Why if the man in the house and the lady say he will not leave the house as he tried to go out, she locks the door. She go from one corner, she locks the door, and you try to force yourself out just to get out of trouble. And the moment you get there and just try to get her, well, you get in trouble. So sometimes, different circumstances. I do not support anybody hating, anybody even insulting the woman. But again, I will do my due diligence. What led to this?
I agree.
I'm not dismissed. I agree with you. I agree. Maybe I should have.
I had a situation when I came to America, right? And this guy.
And by the way, I didn't mean to change the topic tonight.
We'll go back to our topic quick, but let's say quickly. This guy, like, bro, when you see men for the woman, you want John to pat them. So I won't go pat the guy, man. When I saw the guy, when I see the guy, somebody said, "Move that guy."
Real good blow.
That guy will whip you. When I saw the guy, I said, something that we'll call the cops because we got on a serious day. That guy would have whipped me over there. But on a serious note, right? And I know women can hurt on men. Like I know it hurts on men that they do some crazy things, but just exercise restraint. Don't go to that extent because, for instance, you say you got 5 children for the man, but not for the man. It ain't fair to the man. But again, my man, it happened to you. Just move from there. Disengage. That life, it'll hurt you. I know, but now all. Just don't touch her because it ain't worth it. Ain't worth it. You go to jail. So when the cops say, let's take a walk. Sir, is it, ma'am? You want here? No. There you go.
Your hands off.
Yes. And it's only you pay a mortgage for your house and all, for the home. Pay the rent. They said, let's take a walk. Let's go. And I was some guys that would deal with our places of work, that went to money in jail for today. Because all these kind of stuff them. So
I think sometimes people just need to walk away. I mean, I'm like tempting, but
that's the best therapy right there.
And you know that men can call police too. So sometimes if you're not going to get out of that situation and you feel that, call the police too.
It's serious.
It's two ways.
I mean, it's not worth it to put our hands on a woman in this country.
No, it's not. It
will ruin your career person. Forget it.
It's very, very inhumane to touch a woman or beat a woman.
Yeah. We talk about the suspension, but most people, some people say well, welcome, but they were too late. Some people said.
But do we know those who upon the point they didn't name people?
Yeah. So what we'll do tomorrow now, we'll contact LCC to ask them who all have complied with this. Yeah.
You're not screaming, man.
You think that people will give you the information?
And Sarah, in fact, she's somebody who I mean, honestly, prove us that wrong, but that everything means that she said that somebody asked a question about these people that the lawmakers about the money they bribe with. She said they used to write the speaker. Whoever the speaker to send the lawmakers to go for questioning, but because there are no speakers, why the case have been stalled. Because they won't get involved into it. The reason why? Because who
yeah, I heard that. But somebody, any update on the young man that was killed by the police today?
There's a basic process here. I thought and that's my perspective. I thought the executive mansion should have basically published those names because it was in accordance with the LACC, if you will. Those that didn't adhere to the presidential instruction should have been immediately punished, and the name should have followed the press release. That should have been inclusive. It should have been embedded in the press release. I agree. Showing that the president is serious. But to come out and do something inconclusive or something that is not detailed aspect, who are those that come to us because the executive management is instructing all of those suspended should turn over their federal government properties, if you will. And do I know that I'm suspended? Right? Okay, I would know because I didn't do the filing of the LCC. But there should be a list. There should be a long list, right, being published by the executive mansions indicating that these are the delinquent.
Exactly. They should have a list. That's true.
You think it's scam?
Can I ask people a quick question? Maybe any one of you can answer that question though. What actually instigated Josiah Joyka's decision to come out there and made a post that he published on Facebook talking about these people will not get paid? What is that part of his function? I don't know, and that's what I'm asking. Because my big brother Josiah, I plan on calling him tomorrow to really inquire, because I was reading through his stuff and I thought to do research, but hopefully Pewee or one of y'all can help me understand What is Josiah Joyca's
That's
role?
a very good question, Lofa.
I think that above his pay grade.
Yes, it. Now, all of those the president suspended today they are all presidential appointees.
Correct.
They fall in the category of those the president appoint. That's in conformity with Article 54 and 56. Article 54 says the president shall appoint minister, deputy minister, assistant minister, superintendent, military from a colonel level moving forward, ambassador, and others. Right. And those officials appointed by the president, 56, Article 56 says they serve at the will and pleasure of the president. Yep. That is a manifestation of the suspension because they serve his pleasure. Now, for the CSA boss to come and say those people, it is not within the domain
of above his pay grade. Yep.
A presidential appointee will take pay or not. It's an instruction coming from. But you see, everybody is suffering the function of the president. And at a certain point in time, everyone wants to just prove that they in some structural bureaucratic proceeding that they want to prove that they're powerful or they got some connection to the Liberian presidency. So that's the problem there.
But Pewee, I'm hearing that whole thing today was to distract Mr. Cummings and silence today. They said they did out. What I'm getting is that they did it so Mr. Cummings was everybody anticipating what Cummings was going to say today.
Absolutely, you know,
they distracted with that stuff because I saw senators then all one out of it. You're not on the executive branch, so when you want to show up, I saw some senators were trying to say they declared that as I was saying that you get part of the play that one. You were on the executive branch.
It's unfortunate for me. If I was advising anyone around the president, playing or I say, Mr. President, the best thing to do here is to publish those people's name and told me that you need me business. Listen, nowhere a president will give instructions and people try to flank up the decision of the president. That's the now. And if they don't know, let me remind them that Article 50 of the Constitution stated plainly that the executive power of the Republic of Liberia shall be vested in the president. He would be the president, the commander-in-chief, head of state, head of government, and commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
What's of Liberia?
So that executive power is enormous. So if the president were to give any directive, and then it didn't stop there, constitutionally,
that's the part I want you to touch on.
More power in those areas also. Apart from them being head of government, head of state.
And actually, there's somebody said they suspended their put some people not die, they put a new list. Some people not
so I don't know. So the problem they pulled and let me go back again. Probably they pulled gap and I call it no. Josiah Joyca was we do have some senior CSA staff that should declare the assets also.
I mean,
he's referring
how can you suspend a district commissioner in deep rural Liberia?
Yeah,
so, I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense. But you know, that guy, I think
he loved too much power. He loved the media. But let me just say this, Pewee, to Pewee's point, right? Apart from the president executive order or apart from the president decree to say, oh, you are suspended, asset declaration is a constitutional mandate. It's not a choice. Is a constitutional requirement. So, what are you doing? You raise your hand to take the oath of office.
In the Constitution?
Huh?
In the Constitution?
The asset declaration?
I think so. But
yes.
A code of conduct.
Code of conduct, Article 90 gave birth to the code of conduct.
Yeah, but don't say constitutional mandate.
Yeah, but a constitutional mandate. So, Article 90 gave birth to the code of conduct, right? So so it's constitutional mandate. So the code of conduct was birthed out of Article 90 of the Constitution of Liberia. So if you raise your hand and say you're going to uphold and defend the Constitution of Liberia, so help me God, then you fail to adhere to a constitutional mandate, you are contradicting yourself. You're not even supposed to be serving in government position because that's the Constitution right there.
It's a statute, so that clarify. It's a statute, so that there was statutory stuff there.
All right, so a statutory article provision within the Constitution that is in conformity of the Constitution, right? So the Constitution gave birth to it, so it's a statute. The code of conduct is in conformity with the Constitution, so it's the code of conduct that gave the it's Article 19 that gave the lawmaker the power to create that code of conduct that applies to all citizens of Liberia, not just government official or appointed official or elected official.
This government don't ask where.
So the point here is, Tomalin, these guys will talk about rule of law or being working in the interest of the Liberian people, but the instruction given you before you even take your office, you must declare your asset. That basic instruction, you refuse to do it. My man, we all are human beings. This is not Article 19 is where the code of conduct was burned.
Their person was suspended.
Lead out man. No. Article 19. Look at Article 19. If you say you should create a code of conduct, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But lastly, guys, I know we're about to go. Man, don't get mad about it.
Go to Article 19. I'm not an article. The entire constitution. I didn't remember write the entire constitution. I'm not lying. But I know it came out of Article 19.
You know, Mr. Sonny, right? I know we're about to go about. No, you're right. Mr. Sonny.
I know I'm right.
I saw something today, right? For me, let me be clear, right? My last point before I will leave, Mr. Sonny. I saw something today. I see more. I think they were trying to mock the former president about the Armed Forces Day. But you see, look, I want to I love to be objective. For me, I know my political president Boga in the pickup yesterday to get it to inspect the guy or not. I know for me, a lot of reasons involved, his age and everything.
You couldn't walk, man.
But then when they start making fun of the former president, how you make fun of a man who is very athletic, who walked and did it honor. Then they start bringing all kind of pictures of them with Mugabe there, all the people there doing things. And mind you now, I'm not talking about people. There's a large place of cover. That's why they put, and you can't expect people to be like almost 1 hour you do that thing. So they are good in that ride. But Liberian are just small space. Even Madam Sadi said,
Madam Sadi walked.
So the people that are on that place, they were not even good to soldiers in that place. That people have walked.
Try to be honest. I say for me, I won't criticize for that because the age and the health too. I want to have the president that has some. But the commander is
just too hard for him to walk.
But then my thing is that they should not try to make fun, try to attack other people. I probably got with them. I'm trying to be objective with you guys, then they want to try to attack.
Tomalin, you know what? I said this earlier, right? That UP continued to copy from CDC.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very good friend of mine called Riverside Pro.
Yeah.
This guy was very good at this. Doing the CDC government, every time they had a misstep, when we talk about it, my friend will go and research something particular or just close to that, and then he will bring pictures and send it to me, and then he will post it. So I acknowledge his work today, and I must commend him. He taught UP something, because everything they're doing today came from Riverside's playbook. Everything that we spoke against, every time there was something that happened in Liberia and we were criticized, he would bring images and real stories that were happening in other countries. So to see UP guys doing it, it's a shame. They claim that seditions they were not sophisticated and they were this, they were that, and to see the likes of Mo Ali and other people copying from CDC playbook. I told Riverside today, I said, bro, I'm very proud to be your friend. I'm very proud because I'm very proud to be his friend because the entire government is playing from his playbook. Everything that they're doing today came from Riverside's playbook and President Obama.
I saw on the picture with Obama, with the president, that president. I said, to justify the one thing. I mean, accept the fact, and I would defend the president that comes to the point where he's an old elderly man, and to be from you, that is so hot.
It was very hot.
But right, if I had a public house, I wear my military commander in chief, wear a military uniform. As for that one day, wear a military uniform and inspect the guy on. But the public, right. But don't make fun of it and say, "Oh, you want to justify it?" No, for me, I would defend it. That you already put you in the pickup. Yeah, let him do the especially on the guy on.
No, Tomalin, it was not right to be. You should have started the first 2 or 3 lines, man.
That could have been your daddy. Yeah. You won't like to treat
Yeah,
that way.
but
No, but Tomalin,
for 5 minutes.
had he been my dad, why it is true that I would have been anxious to be considered a member of the first family, but I think I would have cautionized my dad to say, look, you are well capacitated to serve as an advisor to the president and for you to put yourself in this position, because the presidency is not mere, just paperwork. It requires some level of physical appearance. Like today, what happened, yesterday. That physical
maybe next year they will put in
helicopter. So it's required. So I would have been selfish had I done that to allow my dad to go through what he's going through today. I would have been enjoying though. I would have had a security guards. I would have been respected, and you will invite me on the show every time you let me talk more than I want to talk. But the honesty is, I would have been doing bad to my dad. So I think in this case, I think he deserves to get what he's getting though. He chose to serve in this capacity. He needed to walk. He should have walked. President Wyatt, remember when he said we took a grown man's job and gave it to a boy. Okay, this is the case. He was being condescending in his statement as well. Let's be honest. President Boycott was being condescending. And that's why I think when Mr. Cummings
now the grown man can walk.
Thank you. When again, that brings me to the point where Mr. Cummings missed out on the opportunity to really highlight President Boycott incompetence to them when he was asked about that statement he made about handing the only cut lights in the village to the elderly man to farm because of his experience.
What is that?
Okay. I think in his response, he really wasn't exact. I personally, and I don't recall specifically his statement, but I think I would have used that opportunity to emphasize on the massive failure and the corrupt practices.
Yeah, he just used the phrase by saying they score on themselves. They use a football analogy. Yeah,
that was at the beginning. That was at the beginning of the tournament. But when that question was,
if you got a video you're playing now, so we can listen.
Right, I think I would have emphasized on the fact that hey, the issue of the yellow machine, which is something he spoke of, and he also said corruption. I would have emphasized on corruption, the issue of President Boycott refusal to prosecute corrupt government officials when he promised that he would come back. And considering the current state of the nation, like Mr. Cummings said, and one of the journalists, I believe, asked, and I think it was Julius Jer when he said, but Mr. Cummings, you're Liberian. You go to the market, you experience all of these things that are happening. I think you can speak to him. Mr. Cummings laughed it out. He said, okay, do you really, in his mind, I want to believe, do you really think I'm going through what the people in the market are going through as compared to, do you think I am like the woman who goes to sell and goes home with nothing for her kids to eat? Do you really think I am that woman who goes to the hospital or that boy who goes to the hospital and end up being rejected? These are some of the things that he was highlighting and saying, let the Liberian people speak for themselves. And that's why we're telling people today, look, we have a perfect opportunity. And I'm pretty sure Sarah over here is in support of Madam Kehleboe Gongloe, so that we don't bring this guy to power. I mean, we need to have women in leadership. And I want to end on that note. In closing, this will be my closing statement. If we're going to move Liberia forward, we must start to look at what is happening around us. And if you look at other countries that are advancing beyond expectation, women in leadership, and I'm saying competent, let's be specific here, competent women in leadership are putting their country on the right trajectory. In Liberia, we continue to focus on this tribal line, this tribal thing, political affiliation. We're not looking at the competence in the people who need to serve. We need to put Madam Kehleboe Gongloe in a position where she can serve her people. We need more women, more competent women in leadership. And the fact that Nima County have refused to acknowledge some of the competent women in their midst to put them in position to represent the people. I think this time that all of us rally around the only woman who may be in the race to represent the people of Nima County and Liberia at large. And I truly believe that Madam Kehleboe Gongloe would definitely serve the people of Nima County beyond all reasonable doubt and put Liberia women in addition to those who have served diligently in the right place that they need to be appreciated.
Does she have a platform, Lofa, where people can go?
Yes, Sarah, get a closing. Anthony.
Does she have?
Yeah, I will send you. I will send you a platform information so you can go and read it.
All right. So yeah, great show, guys. As always, for me, I always busy working. Whenever I have the opportunity, I will come on. Today is my day, also I'm here. But it was a great show, and you know, our country has a long way to go. Our country has a mighty long way to go. And it's good that we can come on here and discuss most of the issues that our people are facing, you know, to kind of enlighten their minds on some of these things and the way forward and how they can change their mindset to vote when the time comes. So, you know, great show. Mr. Illegal Speaker, absolutely, you are not a speaker. You are just you are just occupying the position. You're not a speaker. You did not do the right thing to be speaker. You will not be recognized. You will be recognized by the Joseph Walker government, of course, but not with people who know and respect the rule of law. So I will leave it at that. Thank you guys so much, and you know, we'll be on here as time permits.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming and making bringing sense to the discourse. I hear from you, Anthony.
Yeah, so Timothy, I want to say thank you today. Very good day for us. I'm grateful that Mr. Cummings, you know, broke his silence today and addressed the nation on the issues unfolding in the nation. Many more press conferences will happen. Many more activities. I like the fact that Mr. Cummings today took the stand, you know, to address the issue. Next time, you know, journalists, make sure your room is cool. You know, you can't put the main that kind of heat. You know, make sure the room is cool. That place was too hot today.
Hey, great, all right. You put it, man. You see, then you go there, and then why they just the people who did it?
First of all, Timothy, what they did, you know, whoever had that camera today, you know, the other side, I think I ended up switching to but whoever holding, you know, the closing argument camera today was not doing justice to the show. Keep moving the camera.
The Papa couldn't salute. The people say you were holding on to the bar. Like
oh yeah,
afraid to fall.
You know, so, but let's face the fact, you know, if a politician starts to engage journalists in having press conferences, you know, it implies, you know, he considering, you know, coming back. I mean, that is just clear cut. And I like the fact that we're working behind the scene, you know, doing things differently. I can tell you for a fact that the ANC will not be the ANC that we've seen before. Things will be done differently. We'll engage the Liberian people, and Mr. Cummings will be seen. You know, Mr. Cummings in 2017 went back, you know, and to every county, the 15 counties in Liberia, 73 districts, were able to, you know, go back and tell the people thank you for voting for him, you know. And he have not done so after the 2023 election yet, but trust me, the fact that he came out today to engage the press, that is very, you know, promising for Liberia. Yes, many people wanted Mr. Cummings to come and bash his administration. I've seen other people saying Mr. Cummings is a sympathizer to the administration. Absolutely not. He's not. His style of leadership, you know, he will disagree. He will applaud the government when they are doing good. He will also challenge the government when they're doing wrong. And that's his style, right? But he would not bash. Even Josh Weah, he did not talk down on Josh Weah, the president, you know, the then Vice President Bwaka did, you know, calling him small ball, you know, calling, you know, different kind of names. You never heard Cummings doing those things to President Weah, right? Because he respects him, you know, people love him for who he is, and President Weah is who he is, and people respect him for who he is. So the circumstances here with you know, the speaker, I mean, it is glaring. Everybody now, you know, recognizing him. I mean, except for the people in the United Party, but other people, even Madame Salif, also did not even, you know, shake his hand. You know, she walked past him just like she didn't see him. I mean, if it comes to the Liberian politics, she's the darling of the Liberian politics. She understands Liberian politics very well, right? And she went past him, you know, and that's what it is. The Sierra Leone president, Madame Bill, also did not recognize him during his speech, you know. So this should tell the people that, you know, people are watching. They're not just sitting there, you know, allowing, you know, the Unity Party to do their thing. But the good thing here, Liberia is not at war. We have our peace in our country. We hope that everyone, respect the rule of law. We want to commend this government, to what they started. Today, I saw a post from the Post and Telecommunication, I think, coordinator or something, that they want to launch a addressing thing in Liberia. If that materialize, that would be good, even though it's long overdue. But we need to have, postal addresses in Liberia. In Pabiana House, the other house there, the other house kind of thing. I mean, it's not cool.
I can't remember the last one stuff for that, but guys, it's been a good show. I want to say thank you. And again, like we said, the speaker, the guy who's going to be speaker, I think if I were him, I would call for re-election to legitimize his position. He want to be, but right now, as the way things looking, he's not. I mean, I won't be treated that way, And I talked to yesterday, James Colette, and I told him, I said, Colette, you are rules. You say you're rules chairman. You go sit down your friend and before you go sit down. I say that will hunt you tomorrow. That will look bad. We want all over the world. That picture can all work. Tomorrow, somebody see those the men who are breaking, entering the office, and you explain you tired. They will not listen to you, but they saw you breaking. So that will affect you. I mean, I don't know what you did it for, but again, and then meanwhile too, Raul, leave me alone. Meanwhile, the former president of Nigeria, he's president. He's going for some dedication ceremony for one of the churches there. And the man still moving with his staff and moving. The man flying private jet or using the government.
President, we are in Nigeria. He's invited there.
And moving. So I can say, I mean, you're taking or leave it. John, you're being engaged. If the future like brought the next election, you'll be part of. If you're part of it, either he run. If he doesn't run, whoever won't run, they will need him. If
whoever he does it, that's it. That person will win.
And he runs, he will enter to the front, the finishing line again. So I mean that just take it or leave it. That's just how Liberia looking. So it's something that way. But it's been a good show. I want to say thank you and look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.